And we're back, Chad. Welcome back, everybody. How are we doing this morning? Look at this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed man.
Go.
Yeah,
Fucking go.
let's go, Chad. How's it going, everybody? And how's it going, K9? How are you doing today?
No, you always know what's more important is how are you, Jokerdad? How are you?
Oh,
That's
nice.
what's
He
important
he
for
pulled
me.
the reverse
I
card.
pulled
Not
the
the
reverse
reverse card. Not the reverse. Yeah, it's better. I guess I'll deal with the reverse card, not the
Yeah.
draw four. You know, I don't know if you guys, the classic.
Yeah.
Your poor
No.
cat just died. No, Bessie. I'm sorry to hear that. That's never a
I'm
good
sorry
thing.
to hear that. I'm trying to hype this up. I'm no sorry. Everyone. Oh my god, I'm sorry
Yeah,
about your cat.
sorry to hear that. We're all we'll bring the hype for the kitty in memory
Yeah.
and honor of the cat. Definitely sorry to hear that. We know it's tough to lose loved ones, so hang in there, do the best you can. But yeah, this will be in honor of the kitty. It was only a kitten. Yeah, that's never fun. Yo, welcome in, Epic Ranger. How are you doing today? Country Boys in the house as well. Let's go. Everybody pulling through this morning to show K9 some love. K9, man, good to have you here, man. Pleasure is all mine.
No,
It's
I mean it. The honor's all mine. We've been waiting over a year for this. All right. To be with the Jokerdad, the honor's mine. All right. I
I
want to hear it.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. But yeah, we have been. Yeah, it's been some time. You know, your schedule's always been booked on days that we were able to do this, and then on weekends, we've been booked up too. And then you wanted to save the honor for others. You're always a very modest and humble guy, man, and I can't thank you enough for that. You know, you've really we were talking a little bit prior to stream. You do a lot of charity work, and I'm a big humanitarian myself. So we really clicked on that level quite a bit. It inspired me to want to do more charities within the stream, which will hopefully be continuing with throughout the year, especially coming up in June and July and going forward. I'll probably be bringing that back in because it affects a lot of people, and even if it is a couple bucks here and there, I feel like if more people were doing it, we'd be able to make a big change, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm glad you do the humanitarian stuff because, as you can see, I'm an animal lover myself. And I've only really started getting into the humanitarian side of things with what my job entails sometimes. So, power to you because, again, like, we all have our causes, we all have our ways of spreading positivity and love. And this is just a great platform where we can do that. So, I appreciate everyone for parting with their money. I know it's hard. But you're doing good in the world, and I think that's the most important thing we can do nowadays is just spread some positivity, some love for each other with support and making friends. But also, while we have the chance, why don't we do some good for other causes? You know, it's a click of a button. I do that to buy my coffee in the morning, or I do that for everything else. At the end of the day, you never know where that money's going and what lives you're changing. So, yeah, I appreciate everyone for putting up with my bullshit, making them part with their money, but at the end of the day, it's about the fucking dogs, all right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it's okay once in a while to say, you know what, I'm going to buy a little cheaper coffee this morning. I'm going to make my own food this morning, not spend the extra couple bucks for someone else to make it, and then I'm going to put that somewhere else, right? And I think it's a lot easier to have that mindset and take a little bit away from yourself sometimes to give to someone else or give to something else, and I think that's something that we should all be considerate of, and I appreciate you doing what you do, and thank you. It looks like Blake's got a question as well. Can I see the doggo, assuming you have one nearby, or is he?
Oh, of course you can see the doggo. So for those of you that don't know, I am active duty military. And so the army's kind of a bit funny about emotional support dogs, but I do have my own ESA and therapy dog. His name is Sergeant Huey Irwin, and he is a lover and a fighter. But no, he is. I will turn the camera as he looks with those big brown eyes. The one that you see in the background is actually my old dog, my corgi. His name was Sir Wilson Sterling. But there we go. That's Sergeant Huey Irwin. He's my
Oh,
life. He's my my companion, my everything. So he's just chilling, and we're currently dog sitting for another dog, but he's asleep right now. So yeah. So we do have dogs, and I'd be lost without them 100%. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, and Chad, if you can't tell behind Canine, that is a pillow. That's not a real dog.
yes, it is a pillow. We established this earlier, okay?
Yeah.
Jokerdad was kind of thinking that this dog was very intensely looking at me in the
Yeah.
background.
I was like, that dog's thinking Canine's pretty sus. I was like, what did Canine do to the dog before he came on this morning? He didn't give him
But
enough treats.
there's a reason that that image he looks so intense because that is how he used to look at everything. Like, I'm gonna fuck up your world. Corgis are notoriously cute, but also notoriously fucking vicious. All right, so he would look at you like, "You want to go some? You want to go some?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm just trying to give you some treats. Like, so you gotta hand over the treats, you know." So, you
No,
know,
I agree. I've come in contact with those dogs, and they're cute, but they've got a little little side to them that can be kind of vicious at times, especially if they feel. I mean, I think the thing is they're very threatened feeling. I feel like they're very skittish dogs. But yeah,
just to quickly answer something, because my boy Heavy's in chat, and I see Epic, I see all these wonderful people.
yeah,
But just to clarify something, so yeah, Heavy Hustle, the way it works is back in the day, there was no protection for animals in the military. So under UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, what they did was give your animal a promotion above you. So if ever I abused my animal, I'd be abusing a higher rank than me. So assault of a non-commissioned officer or even an officer. And that way you could be punished for it. Now there is protections in place for animal cruelty, but it still applies. So if I beat the shit out of Huey, I get charged twice now for also beating up a non-commissioned officer. So it's really good. That's why I always refer to him as Sergeant Huey.
that's awesome. That's an
Um,
amazing thing they did. Like, let's see. I'm gonna give a round of applause in chat for that
yeah,
because that's well
right.
worth it.
More power to him for figuring that out.
No,
But
that's good because like I'm totally against that. I've dealt with that. I've seen that in person, and it's not cool at all. And to see that they have some type of guidelines in place to avoid that from happening, or at least if it does happen, there's a strict punishment
yeah.
for it.
And like you said, I mean, I also volunteer at the dog shelter, and I've seen the cruelty of humanity. And I'll tell you what, that makes my blood boil. We talked about it yesterday about like what you'd go to jail for. Definitely, if I found some of those people, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't mean to be too graphic, but one of the worst ones was a guy was disciplining his dog by throwing boiling hot water on him. And man, if I ever found him, I'll tell you what, he'll feel what it feels like to have boiling hot water thrown at him. You know,
Yeah, no, I
like,
agree. And
but yeah, I won't get too deep in it because it riles me up. But you know,
yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It's tough, We do our best we can to protect the animals, around us, and the ones that are, going through the struggles with poor owners, and I remind people too every time Christmas comes around, that an animal's not just a Christmas gift, and when January comes around, you don't just give it away, or and it's tough because like people utilize animals as if they're some possession, and they're a being with a soul and a consciousness, and it's tough, but no, like give us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
all right. I mean, I can do the usual kind of stream intro spiel, but at the end of the day, you guys can ask me anything you want, as long as it's not classified. That's where I draw the line. I don't want black SUVs pulling up at my doorstep. So by day, and depending night, I'm a 13 Bravo Field Artillery for the US Army. I'm trying to reclass to Vet Tech. If I can't do that, we're gonna find our way elsewhere. But on that side, I stream, mainly a charity streamer. That is my main focus with streaming. But at the same time, everything I do is for you guys. At the end of the day, like I want you guys to have a place where you can come in and make friends. It's not about networking like clinically. It's about, hey, I want to have solid relationships with these people. I want to be able to come in and know that these are genuine people. I do my best to try and find out things about you guys, remember things about you. I see people in chat that I'm already like memories are, flickering. So it's all about you guys at the end of the day. We're trying to make Twitch a better place to be, as Jokerdad is, as many of you in chat are. I remember when Twitch was a very toxic place to be, and there's elements of that still around. And we don't want that. We want to make sure that people come here because many of these people, it may be their job, it may be a hobby, but we're all here together. Why are we not coming together on that? And no sussy chat, all right? You don't need to say it like that, but you know what I mean? Why are we not unifying? Why are we not trying to enjoy our time on here? If I want to go get abused, I'll call a sergeant a dickhead, all right? And then I'll get abused, all right? But I'm here for you guys. So again, I'm just going to give some love real quick to some people here. Heavy Hustle is the reason that I am where I am today. He was the one that found me and pushed me in the right direction and has been here ever since. And Epic Ranger. Now, Epic's really close to her 1K goal, guys. And I'm guaranteeing you that if you go over and see Epic, you're going to have an amazing time. We've seen her get affiliated over a year ago. I think it's nearly a year and a half ago. We were the people that were trying to push for her, and she's soaring, As with many of you, like, that's one thing I love. I love watching you guys grow. I love supporting you guys. Honestly, it makes my day. It truly does, seeing you all. So much love to you all. As like I said, Joker, I've known you over a year now. Before my deployment, we were trying to do this, but there just wasn't enough time. And now here I am. So once again, I've seen you go from just playing games to just the beginnings of your spotlight, and you've had some incredible people on. You've been an incredible host, for all these people, and so we're the ones that are honored to be here. So
no, I appreciate that. It means a lot, and honestly, I'm honored, to be able to host all these wonderful people. I can give them the spotlight, give them the show, spend my time giving them the platform. It's really what it boils down to. Is I know how it is to be a small streamer and not have a voice in such a large room of of people out there. And this way, like you said, we can come together, we can unify, we can spread some positivity. Because that's what it's about. We could sit here and be negative Nancy's all day long, like the rest of the world, but we want to come here. We want to put on a show. We want to show people that we can come together and provide good content and support one another while doing it. And I do want to give a shout out to Heavy Hustle and Epic Ranger. These are some W streamers. So if you guys haven't got a chance, definitely go over there and drop them some follows, hit them, push them a little bit more, nudging towards their goals. Because I do recall, a lot of you guys being just starting out, and now look at you. Everybody's almost crushing 1,000 followers or even more. And it's great, like to see everybody grow together and be supportive of one another. No matter what, and we've had our ups and downs. Everybody's had their ups and downs, and pushing through to a sunnier, brighter tomorrow is always a good feeling, and I love seeing all these W's in chat when they come in. But yeah, you love
100%. I'm just seeing now everyone's saying they're like enjoying being a small streamer, and more power to you, because small streamers are really where it's at. Small streamers usually have the time to be able to like connect with you over people want to push for partner and stuff. That's great. If that's your goal. But I don't think I'd ever want that. I don't want to be someone that isn't taking the time to acknowledge people in chat. Because all you guys aren't just numbers. You're not just a name on a screen. You're people behind the screen. And so more power to you that you want to try and stay small and you enjoy that feeling.
Yeah. No, I would probably spend my whole stream, even as a big streamer, just just chatting. If I ever got to a big, I would just sit there and just acknowledge everybody the whole stream. Sorry guys, we're not playing
I
games ever. We're just gonna talk to you guys the whole stream, right?
You
Like,
don't know how many times, especially one of my main mods, Leah, tells me off, especially if we're playing a game, because she's in my ear going, "Stop fucking talking to chat right now. You're playing a game." And I'm like, "Oh my back," you know. And but anyway, how's it? And I'm like dead. I'm like, "Oh fuck the game," you know. I'm here for you, but like, as long as people enjoy that, if they come for my gameplay, they're gonna be sorely disappointed. So you know, I hope they enjoy the interactivity at least. But
yeah. What neck of the woods are you originally from, and then where do you reside now?
So I'm originally from the city of Bristol in England. I honestly thought I would never leave. The only way I would leave was joining the British military at 16, of to which life happened. I had to help my family and stuff. They convinced me, you know, don't go. Really, what I think it boiled down to is it was 2008, height of Afghanistan, Iraq. And they just didn't want to. The news was very heavy on lots of losses. So I realize that now as I grow up, they were trying to do it for my best interest, but there was always that sense to serve. And so I ended up in a long distance relationship, and that one ended, and another one began. And long distance just seemed to work for me initially. And so I met someone originally from Mexico. She lived in the States. I spent 4 years traveling back and forth between Phoenix, Arizona, and Bristol, which I can tell you are the most polar opposite fucking places on the world. You know, the desert compared to the lush greenery of Bristol, but that sort of thing can do powerful stuff, right? And then so we were engaged for 2 years, and we decided that, you know, life had to find a way. So I have siblings. She has one sibling. Her sibling had special needs. And so I was like, I don't want to take you away from your sister. I'll make the move. I'll take the plunge, even though I used to think 2 hours to London was too far for me. Like, fuck that. I ain't going all the way out there for someone. And so we decided I'd move over. So that's how I began my journey in America, after which I was unemployed for a year, trying to get my papers, which they told me it was 3 months, but ended up being a year and a half because of certain political reasons and immigration. We're not getting into it. Don't do politics, but yeah. And so once I finally could, I seized my opportunity to serve, and the army was always the way that I wanted to go. I originally wanted to be a canine handler, hence the name. But there's restrictions on immigrants and being in service, which is somewhat understandable. But I had 95 jobs on my ASVAB go down to 10 when they found out that I wasn't a citizen. So I'm doing the best I can. I just got my citizenship last year through the military, and as you can see, that didn't last because I ended up getting married to the military instead of her. And it was mutual though. We decided to part ways. Still going through some complicated processes. But that's like kind of my journey as to how I got here. Streaming was one of the big things that got me through going through this. All the people I met, all the love and support, not for myself, but just seeing the positivity in the world really reframed a lot of stuff for me. So I'm super thankful just to be here, you know.
No, that's awesome, man. That's a hell of a story, you know, from where you begin, where you're at now, the obstacles that you face to get where you're at, you know, but you lived to fight another day, and that's awesome, man. I'm so happy to have you here in the seat to give us all that information and provide where it all began. And some of that I didn't know, so that's good to see. And yeah, I mean, that's the problem, like, you know, again, no politics aside, but immigration, you know, you try to do the best you can, and that's one of those things where, like, some people ruin it for the others, right? And that's how life is sometimes, you know. Things are, you know, what is that saying, the road is paved with good intention, and here we go, you know. It's one of those situations where you had to fight through all these obstacles, but you managed to prevail. You know, some people would have just thrown in the towel or bowed out, but you managed to pull through, and hopefully you succeed in, like, veterinarian tech or canine handler, or something opens up or changes to where you'll have that capability. And if not, hopefully you find what you're looking for elsewhere, because there's so much opportunity in the world. And I feel like, especially for someone like you, who has such a solid and wonderful heart and are willing to give, because you're very, yeah, I mean, you're very, you don't, you put yourself second, right? Or at least what I've seen. You're very, animals first, then me, and then so on, and that's how it is, and we definitely appreciate that. And I think we need more people like that in the world. And I try to be a splitting image. And then when I see you out there doing what you're doing on stream and in the world, it does encourage me. It does give me more strength to keep pushing on and to be more considerate of others. And that's kind of, also one of the things that inspired the spotlight, just having that mindset, wanting to help other people, especially on this platform where I feel like Twitch isn't helping. Even social media is not helping people reach out to a wider audience of people, because there's someone out there for each and every one of you. And I want people to realize that there are people who connect to you on a more in-depth level, just kind of like I connect with Canine here on the things that we enjoy and the things that we find important in life. There's people out there. You have people out there, guys, who will enjoy your company, even though you may be struggling to find it. It's out there, and that's why I'm doing this. I want to help you guys find those people, either one way or another. And if that means me giving up my free time in the mornings every morning to do this, I'll do it. It's like, that if that opportunity makes or helps you guys not only succeed in this industry, but just provide you with a better day, even if that's the minimum that I get out of this, then I've won. I'm doing, the work, to put it in. So I appreciate everybody coming through. Gene, welcome in. Frankie, welcome in, my man. Good to see you. Good morning.
I see you. Don't worry.
Yeah, awesome, guys. Awesome. And we got a redeem question from Heavy Hustle here. Are you a British military? Yeah.
I started
classified. Yeah.
No, so there's actually kind of a funny story about that. Obviously, as soon as people realized I was British in the US military, it's been a gift and a curse, So like, one of my first memories of it was I always got told, when you go to basic training, shut the fuck up. Don't be them nobody. Fly under the radar. Whatever you do, don't draw attention to yourself. So the very first time we did a layout, which is where you dump all your shit and they put it out nice and neat and they check everything. I stood there and I stared at the wall, and I was just fucking like, I focused on one brick on the wall, and I was like, don't fucking talk to me. Don't fucking talk to me. And the drill sergeant was like, are you fucking dead, trainee? And I was like, no, drill sergeant. And he went, the fuck did you just say to me? I was like, no, drill sergeant. And he's like, oh my fucking God. And from then on, it was like, for Queen and Country, for fucking, everything, just immediately everyone's eyes just, and I was like, fuck. So it was a gift and a curse, because every time he would try and smoke the shit out of me, he's like, I can't do it to you. I just can't. Just say something. And I was like, all right. But on the other hand, then everyone was like, oh, you get off scot-free. I'm like, I really don't. Because like, my anxiety's through the roof that one day it's going to end, But on top of that, like, I get to my unit and everyone was like, it's crazy, because this is the joy of the military, okay? You're going to have people from every state, but you're also going to have people from all over the world. My best friend is from Brazil. We train together. We're in the same unit together. And he was a cop. He's fucking jacked. He's fucking whatever. And then there's me, small British guy, and they're bidding on us. And they're like, I want the dude that looks like he could fucking rip someone's head off. And then they're like, I want him so he can fucking talk me out of a situation, because I'm going to get in trouble. And I'm like... And so saying the name of like a British spy, my immediate nickname was MI6. Everyone was like, dude, he's got to be a fucking spy. There's no way anyone would want to be a goddamn field artilleryman and be British. Like, you can do anything you want, And I'm like, it's not that simple. We're human like you, okay? So Even on my helmet that I used to wear for my gun, I'm a M109 Alpha 6 Paladin driver. So it's called a CVC. It's like a helmet with my internal comms, has MI6 written on the top of it. And then it's on the back of my morale cap. And then as I started doing more charity work, everyone started calling me K9 instead. And that kind of segues also into the name, because at one point it was MI6K9 because of that transition, but everyone used to say, "Oh, M16," and I was like, "No, dude, it's MI6." Like, and everyone's like, "Yeah, M16," and they didn't understand it, so that's why we changed. We like MI6 better, Wolfbuck, but yeah, that was like one of those things that I've always dealt with, where people are like, are you sure you're not a spy?" And I actually had a contract to be a UAV operator, drone operator, and then my recruiter was trying to slip me in, and then they put me as a citizen, not a resident, so that would have gave me security clearance. And immediately they were like, "But he's not, and he's British. He's got to be a spy." And I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, can I just live my life? Can I just do something I want to do?" But either way, I earned my Raven wings for being a drone operator. So in a way, roundabout ways, life works out. You can do the things you want to do if you put your mind to it. So, but yeah,
Awesome,
it's
man.
just funny.
Congratulations. That's awesome that you got your wings.
Yeah. So, those things I try and, you know, take on as core memories. So even like Heavy Hustle saying that, like, it just brings back floods of memories of like everyone just being like, as soon as I'm speaking, one captain actually basically hired me as his personal assistant to tell people bad news. And I was like, "Dude, I don't want to do this." And he's like, "No, you are going to go tell that person that like their leave's been denied or something." And I'm like, "Dude," and then like, he's like, "Look, watch this." And he would be like, "Go tell someone their leave's denied." And I'd have to go up to him and I'm like, "Apologies, son. Captain so-and-so said that your leave's denied." And they're like, "Oh yeah, no worries." And he was like, "Yeah, right, I'll go tell someone else, like, hey, so-and-so, your leave's been denied." "What the fuck? Sir, this is ridiculous." Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "Do you see why I make you do it now?" I was like, "What?" So it's had good things, it's had bad things, but I'm just super thankful that I had the opportunity to serve and still serve. I would love to do the 20 years if I can, till retirement. If it doesn't work out that way, like you said, there's other things that we can do. I'd look into like animal control or go reserves, National Guard while I do that. So, like you said, there's always a way. It's just about reframing and thinking about what the next step is. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. And there's beauty in everything. Like you don't need a title to have self-worth, right? And I think you can find something that provides you with happiness. It's out there, and I think some people get leery of that because they don't have it at the moment or they're struggling to find it. But you're doing great, man. You got a positive attitude. And you got a will, and wherever there's a will, there's a way, and you've shown it through where you've come before to where you're at now, and I think that's something that needs to be acknowledged. So kudos to you for that. And we do have a question here. Zahabi asks, "What's your self-care on your beauty routine?"
Well, to be honest, I'm fucking terrible for anything because I don't mean to get too deep with such a fun question, but I have severe body dysmorphia. I have a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of things. I don't even look at myself in the mirror. The only time I do is to shave because work makes me shave, and so like,
Would you shave if you didn't have to? Would you, or would
Oh,
you
fuck no.
you get a big
would just be
beard
like, I don't
and
want to.
stash and everything?
I mean, I grow a natural goatee. Unfortunately, I don't have what all you amazing people do, where it grows here. But so yeah, I just like I don't really have a beauty routine. Literally everything is obviously basic hygiene is a must, but other than that, like I just drink copious amounts of caffeine, and I think that keeps me young. As soon as I stop drinking that and drinking, I'm gonna age like spoiled milk. I'm just gonna go like so. Everyone says like, oh, I've been ID'd all the time, especially here because the difference is 21 over being 18. In England as well, we don't really ID people because unless someone's watching. But like everyone's like, "Oh, how old are you?" Like 22 to 26, and I'm like, "Nah, I'm about to hit 32." So, like they're like, "What's your secret?" I was like, "I don't know. I think I just got lucky." So, no secrets, a hobby. I'm sorry. I don't know like eat unborn children or anything, So like,
some adrenochrome. I think that's what they call
yeah.
it.
Everyone thinks, "Oh, he's too nice. Obviously, he must do some dubious shit to stay youthful and young." Like, no, I just get lucky. Every now and then I just look like hammered shit. So you just caught me on a good day. Let's put it at that.
Awesome, awesome. So what got you into streaming? What was your inspiration to give it a go and to start putting yourself out there to the world?
It's epic. But the so the crazy thing is I've actually been streaming for years. So whilst doing long distance stuff, me and my ex used to try and stream. And then like we were big Smite people, for example, and so everyone
Oh,
loved our like
Smite! I
teamwork
can't
and our
believe you
dynamic.
play Smite.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, it was one of those that used to be like one of my go-to games. If I didn't know what to play, I'd play Smite because it was like I was also trying to change the attitude in it by trying to be positive in a very toxic community. It's got generally better, but either way was like we tried and I didn't really gain much traction because um my heart wasn't really in it at the time. It was just like it's something I enjoyed doing with the ex-wife at the time. And then I moved to America, like I said, and I was unemployed for a year. So I had to think about how I was going to try and make money. And that was my biggest downfall, right? It's because I was thinking about Twitch as a business. I wasn't thinking about it for what it actually should be, which is support and love and friends. And so I would spend like 11 hours streaming with like two people in my chat, which is the biggest affiliation killer there ever is, right? Long
Yeah.
streams, no viewers, right? But it was me just trying to be somebody, trying to be like, all right, I'm gonna put on this like persona, I'm gonna try and like be like every huge Twitch streamer you see, and it just wasn't me, right? It was like what I realized was, you have to be an extension of yourself. Sure, people can say you're like, oh, you're always hyping that, or you always like this. No, this is a segment of my life. I can go off stream and just fucking decompress and just be myself, in the sense of like just mellowed. But when I'm with you guys, it's like a reflection of that energy and positivity you bring. So well, that's where I was going wrong. And then I went to basic training, and didn't even think about streaming again. It wasn't a thing. My career was everything. I was burnt out. Um, Ever since I joined the military as what's called a fuzzy, PV1, like private, the lowest of the fucking low. They even offered me two promotions in recruitment, and I was like, no, I want to start at the bottom. I think every great journey, you need to climb the ladder to really appreciate things. Um, Kudos to anyone that took that extra money, but I was like, nah, I need to see what this is about. And so I put all my energy into the military. Even getting to my unit, I was a PV2 private, and I was put in NTO positions because they trusted me because I put so much into it. And then as I started to kind of drift apart from my wife, I spent more time gaming and feeling a bit more like isolated. I was with the dogs, but like we were like living as roommates at that point. And so I would spend all my time gaming, and I thought, why not try and get back into streaming? Let's try and make some new friends. I used to love interacting with people from like Instagram all over the world. Why don't I do that while I play games? And so I started off there, and it was kind of ticking over. I met some really great people pre-affiliate, that are still around today. I've got like Elsa, who does some of my artwork. I've got like Heavy Hustle and people like that like they would be the onesies and twosies. I have some big friends that I realized weren't friends once I started streaming, because I would go in their chat and try and talk, and their community would jump on me, and I'm like, this is fucking weird. I don't want to do this. because I've seen this person get married, I've seen this person do whatever. And I was like, so I kind of gave it a little bit of a curve and was like, do you know what? This isn't really for me. And then it turns out I was like, do you know what? I got 2 weeks of leave. Fuck it, I'm going full bore. I'm gonna stream every day. I'm gonna hang out in people's chats that I really enjoy being in. And so I was manically depressed going through the divorce. And I was like, this is what I needed. This is what I needed to be in. I needed to be in positive people. I needed to see the good in the world. And from that, like everyone just rallied around. And it was the most amazing feeling because I'm not someone that has self-love, but like everyone showed that love and support to be like, no, we're here for you. And then I got pushed in the right direction to people like Dr. Clutch World, all these people. Yourself, Joker, was in amongst those group of people that were like, hey, we're going to get you there, you know? And I was like, you don't understand. I go training for a month, literally in January. And so you guys all rallied around me. And the day I left for that training was when I got that affiliate email. And I was like,
I remember
serious?
that. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I was like,
It was a good time, man. I was excited for you. It was a good time.
I looked like a fucking idiot because I was legit running up and down on the bus being like, fuck yeah, like running, and everyone's like high-fiving and clapping and shit, like, because it was like one of those things where like I didn't think it was possible. And so that really, really invested me into streaming because then it was like, it's not just about the streams. I had people messaging me whilst I was training, being like, how's everything going? You know, thinking of you, we'll be here when you're back. And in your head, you're just like, there's no fucking way. Like, people can say whatever they want to say, but it was like, as soon as I got back, everyone was there. You know, it was like, you're all in the same room as me. And so that really just inspired me to do better with streaming, be better, and show the love and support. So that's why now I spend 90 to 95% of my time on Twitch actually being in streams rather than streaming, because I'd much rather give you guys the love. And in return, you reciprocate that just by being your awesome selves. So that's what it is for me. It's like, that's what really keeps me going. Is like, I can be in Frank's stream, I can be in Epic's, and then there's always this love that just immediately comes by it. And I'm like, do you know what? This makes everything worth it. You know? Not just for me.
And we love to be there for you, man. You know, that's any chance I get, and I'm like, oh shit, K9's on. You know, I'm even yelling at Joker Mom. I'm like, hey, Joker Mom, K9's on. You know, like, so it's great, man. And you're part of the family, you know, and so is everyone. You know, Frankie, Epic, Heavy, you know, everybody who's come across and you know, been there for one another, supported one another. I can't help when I'm out supporting to stop in and say hi. You know, I know lately my support's been very limited due to how overwhelmed I am with, you know, health issues, but also trying to maintain this going. You know, my plate's pretty full, and that's been a struggle, you know, trying to balance everything. And then anything new that I do, something's being kind of replaced, you know, like my time somewhere else is being lost to produce more time for something else, and that's never fun, you know. So I don't want anybody to feel like they're being left behind. So you know, shout out to everybody in chat. If you haven't seen me in a minute, here I am, you know. Stop in, say hi, and I'll definitely show you the love. But I'll try to make myself more available to your guys when I see you on, or if I can get a chance. But I know we did have a question here earlier with Trash Panda a couple minutes back. Curious why you're remustering your trade from artillery. How long have you been in for?
Okay, so I've been in coming up 4.5 years now. So like I kind of mentioned, artillery wasn't my first choice. The way it works, but I don't know because you said you're from Canada, right? The way it works for the US Army is that you go and do what's called the ASVAB. It's like some fucking acronym that's about like vocational course bullshit. I don't know. But basically you take a test, they see how smart you are, they see how like you comprehend certain things, and then they pick what jobs can fit you. Based on that, you get a line score, and it can tell you mechanical, it could tell you science, it could tell you anything really. And so my GT score was 111, which 110 opens up any job in the army for you. Um, the lowest I think you can go is 31, which they just give you combat MOSs. So infantry basically is like, if you get a 31, you're guaranteed a place in the army. It's gonna fucking suck. But, and obviously the higher you go, the more options open up to you. And so as soon as I passed my ASVAB, I had options to do paralegal, combat diver. There was all these ridiculous jobs that I was like, well, I don't know. I just want to play with puppies all day. That was always my goal, was to be an explosive dog handler. I always admired not only the bond between the animal and the handler, but that they do such an incredibly dangerous job. And that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to make things better in that job. As I said, I didn't get it because they realized I wasn't a citizen. And so I was pushed to do UAV because I asked for that. Didn't go through. So basically what happened was you go to a place called MEPS, which is where you are in process for the military. And so 5 minutes before swearing in, they were like, you're not going to get the job you want. Someone fucked up your paperwork. You've got 5 minutes, pick another job, and here's 10 jobs. 5 of them were mechanical, and I'm not mechanically inclined. I hate everything mechanical. More to follow on that. But then the rest were, I had combat medic, and I was like, I'll be a terrible medic because I'm going to tell you to fucking walk it off. Grow up.
Throw some dirt on it.
And I'm just like, dude, stop bitching. All right, we're all sucking together. And he's like, dude, I ain't got a leg, And I'm like, that sucks to suck, nerd. But then, like, I had CBURN, which is chemical, biological, radioactive, and nuclear. And that kind of appealed to me. But then I got convinced that it was kind of boring. So the other two were infantry-based jobs, Cav Scout, which is like reconnaissance and infantry, and then just infantry. And I was like, And then I finally seen, someone was like, we were sat in the waiting room, and some dude from Vietnam era was like, dude, I was a 13 Bravo. I was slinging that shit, I was like, fucking best time of my life. And I was like, do you know what? Field artillery it is. And then I get here and everything's mechanical because I'm in a heavy unit. So I'm like, fuck, this sucks, But when we do shoot, it's a lot of fucking fun. The adrenaline rush as we're slinging those rounds is like uncompromised. The brotherhood is something that like we're out there sucking it for, a month at a time to 9 months, as I just found out by coming back. And you're with people that would live and die for you, and so that's the great parts of my job. But I'm getting old. I'm broken. I've got a lot going on up here, and so I'm just like, do you know what? I want to have a reason to get up in the morning where I can serve and do something I really truly enjoy. So that's kind of why I'm switching over. And also, as I get higher up the ranks, I've already done most of the stuff that a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do. As I said, I've been in NCO positions, so much so that my section chief used to let me run the section. So my gun crew and our cat crew, which is our ammo crew, and he'd just fuck off for the day because he just had full trust and confidence that whatever needed to get done got done. And I don't blame him. Like, that shit's rough. So like, I'm like, now I'm looking to better myself. I'm looking better to do more things, educate myself, try and be more versatile in my trade, be more versatile in myself. And I think that's something
you're growing as an individual. You know what I'm saying? Like you like you said, you've done a lot of those things. You're looking for more, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, and like, so the way I look at it is that if you really push for it, the military has a lot of options for you to do a lot of different things. And so all those options I had, I've done something of each of them. So I'm CLS certified, combat lifesaver. So I have medical under my belt. CBURN, I was a CBURN representative for like nearly 2 years. On top of that, like I said, I got my Raven wings. I'm drone operator. You know, I got all these things under myself because I pushed myself to be there, and that crossed off all 10 things on those lists that in one job. I got an experience of each of those. And so now it's like, what can I do apart from just becoming an NCO, which by now I should be at staff sergeant, but by the way that I want to reclass, I'm stayed a specialist, which is like not an NCO position, and everyone calls them shitbags and that. But I'm like, nah, I'm on looking for a career. I'm not looking for a moment. And so, like I said, I'm broken. I'm old. I'm trying to figure my way out. So, like you said, I've grown a lot because of the military. I've grown a lot in my ideals, what I want to do in life, my purpose, my why. Even just being here is one of my biggest whys. Like I said, I'm not a humanitarian, but my experiences in the military has made me go, do you know what? Everyone is fighting a battle we don't know about. As you said, you've got a lot of health issues. You're struggling to get to everyone's stream, and I completely feel that, because you want to show all that love and support, and in your head you're being told they're gonna be annoyed that I didn't make it to their stream. They're gonna be, but no, it's like there's no love lost, you know, and we need to reframe that and like say to people that like we're busy, we're human, all right. This is a side project for a lot of us, that we understand if you're busy, we understand if you're having an off day, we understand if you're having health issues and you can't be there, you know what I mean? So that's part of my purpose, that's part of my why now, I believe.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Like that man, just to see where you've come in what, so you've been in the military since what age?
So I joined at 28. Just coming up 28. So it's coming up 4.5 years. And that's what I mean is like,
hello,
I was meant to do
beautiful.
this at 16. Everything in my head growing up was like, you will be serving at 16. That's when you can join the British military. You can't be deployed until 17. But, you know, for a lot of people, that's ridiculously young. But I think that was always inbuilt in me. And so when I lost that sense of purpose by not joining, I was worse than I am now, with depression and anxiety and all those fun little things that get in your head. But it swings and roundabouts, right? Is like, by forging a different path, I ended up on the path I wanted to be on. And if there's the will, the way, the resilience, anyone can do really what they really want to put their mind to it. There's going to be obstacles, there's going to be things, but it's about how you reframe that. Okay, maybe you didn't get the job you wanted, but you can go elsewhere and find a job that allows you to do that. Your health may hold you back, but you can, if you reframe it, and you're doing great things with health issues, right? My ex-wife, she had two acute strokes. She had her heart running at 50%, and she also, at one point, her kidneys gave up. And I was dealing with all that in the military. And the hardest part was she had just given up. She was like, do you know what? I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be anyone. And my biggest fight was to tell her, hey, stream, do something. You can do stuff from home. You can find a new purpose. You can find a new way, study. And she had just given up, which is the great thing to me that I see inspiration all around me. There's people like yourself, Joker. There's people in chat right now. We talked about Mao and her issues that she struggled with yesterday. Everyone's got that battle. It's just about how you want to go about a plan of attack.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the stream saved our lives. I mean, it really
Yeah.
did, like more than many believe, or more than many know, you know. So for us, it's a lot deeper than just, like you said, partner or hitting affiliate or average viewers or any of that stuff. It goes farther than that. And you know, I'm happy to where I'm at today, because I've met so many amazing people, you know, and only 132 of them have been on the show. There's thousands of people that I've met that still hold a special place in my heart, that I've come across. And even though some of them are no longer here streaming, or some of them are no longer stopping by or being in the circle, I still have much love for them, and I want to see them succeed, even outside of Twitch, right? Even outside of the stream. I hope they're doing well. I hope they're battling, you know, whatever they're going through, because it's hard, you know. And if it wasn't for the stream, I don't know where I'd be. I would have probably been like your ex-wife, had given up. And so that was good advice, to find an outlet elsewhere. But I do want to say good morning to Joker Mom. She is not here at the moment, so she is stopped in. She came in, dropped a sub. So I'm going to give her fortune of the day here. And then I wore some special socks. Unfortunately, they're not dog socks, but Team Cat here.
Ooh, I'm gonna go all up in those feet.
Nice, you got the dog socks. Nice, I got the cat socks. We got the cats in outer space on planets today. So team animal, right today. So here, let's see what the fortune is. Happiness is a state of mind. Perfect. That's a perfect fortune for what we're talking about, and it is. You really have to put it out there. Thanks for showing me. You're very welcome, Mal. Yeah, we got the cat feet here, and we got K9's dog feet. So
she's also a lieutenant, so I naturally have to salute her. But I do special things for those officers. Show them feet.
Yeah. Well, we have the thing here where we're like, Lieutenant. Meow. But no, welcome in. And I know we got the Tin Man stopping in, saying hi, tickling some pickles, showing some Tin Man love. So we appreciate you, Tin Man, coming in. And speak of the devil, we were kind of speaking about that and charities and stuff earlier, that Tin Man gives. I think it is 25% of your 25% of your Twitch income that you've gained over the year back into the American Heart Association. So very cool there. We're always big support. So if you guys didn't get a chance, go over there and drop Tin Man some love. But also not forget our guest here. If you're new to the stream, you haven't got a chance to catch out K9, highly recommend going over and dropping him a follow too. And if you're listening in on the podcast, on any uploads, it's K9_0NE0NE. Or ONE, should I say, not zero, but ONE. ONE, yeah.
I'm not about self-promotion, so I'm shutting up.
Yeah, no, you're great. No, you're good. I'm one of those. I probably have a mild form of dyslexia because I get my letters and numbers and everything all mixed up sometimes. But yeah, welcome in, Dr. Dive.
Though, because some people do have that 0, and then you're like, I can't find you. And they're like, yeah, do a 0 instead of an O. So I get you. You're good.
Yeah. And then like 3s instead of E's and at symbols instead of A's. Yeah. People were, you got to make what works. Yeah. But yeah, welcome in, Dr. Dive. How you doing today, man? Good to see you.
Once I just have to say, like, Dr. Dive is, we refer to each other as battle buddy because that's the military term. He's also a veteran that truly helped save me. He's one of those people that not only does he take the time out of his day to message me or make sure that everything's good, but like he's in my stream. He's always pushing me to be better. And I'm super thankful that I get to mod for him. He was the second person I ever got mod privileges for. And it was just one of those things that, like, because of him, like, truly is like, where we've ascended to today as people. Like, so if you can show him some love too, I'd highly appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Click that heart button there in chat, guys. Follow Dr. Dive, great guy. We always get some Fortnite in. He's a big Halo gamer as well. So we love Dr. Dive here. And we did have 2 questions from Mal. The first one was your favorite Spanish food to eat. And then your second is, have you ever dated someone that one time happened to smell?
Gosh, it brings up a smelling thing. So first things first, it sounds basic but bomb ass fajitas. If you can make fajitas, I'll love you for life. That's my favorite food ever. But like, I've been very fortunate in that I got to go to Spain twice as a kid. So actual Spain, Espanol, Spain, is like the tapas and stuff there is phenomenal. I couldn't pick a singular food, but then, like I said, I also married a Mexican. So I came over and was in a Mexican household, and pretty much everything that was on my plate was fucking phenomenal as well. But some of the most basic stuff is the best stuff. Carne asada, oh my god, if someone can make that, like just sat out with the grill and the beer and the salt. Oh my God, it's perfect. But honestly, I'm with food. I always like to try things once. But then there's going to be things that I kind of gravitate towards. But Mexican food, I'm also I don't care about doxing myself because most people know I'm in El Paso now. I went from Phoenix to Oklahoma training and then straight back to the desert of El Paso. And being in border towns is one of the best experiences of my life because you have American culture and you have Mexican culture, as well as everyone in between that are like survivors here with us. So the food is phenomenal. All right, you're always going to find good food. And then the second question, have I ever dated someone that one time happened to smell? I mean, to be honest, everyone smells at some point. But I don't think the way you're thinking, there was no foot fungus. We're going to get that out of the way. I know you're very curious about that, Mal. But no, like I take some things into account, you know, like personal hygiene is a big one. But I don't know. It depends what you've been doing throughout the day. Like, if you've just gone on a hike through the desert, I'm not expecting you to smell like roses. You know what I mean? There's a reality there. Or, like, I'm a dog person. Sometimes I smell like dog, you know? But, like, I do my best to not, like, do that. And so it's the same way. I don't think I've ever dated someone that's quote-unquote smelled. But, of course, it's got to be Lieutenant Mal with a question like that. I appreciate it.
So while we're on food, we do have the final meal here. If you were on death row or it was your final meal, what would be your choice of meal there, and then what would be your dessert?
So I'm in two minds with this because one of them, as I've sort of mentioned, like I've had issues with body dysmorphia and eating disorders. So part of me would be like, "Fuck you! I'm not eating your food. You can't tell me to eat. Fuck you!" You know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then the other half of me is like the logical side that would say I would try and order as much food as possible and just try and sit there for as long as
Prolong
possible.
it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
how
prolong
much
it.
can I? Yeah.
So I would be fighting myself the whole time. But like if it was like a last meal, I think it would be basic ass like fajitas, but they got to be unlimited. Because I will fuck up fajitas. I'll eat like 9, 10, 11 of them, and I'll just sit there and I'll just look them in the eye and be like, "Fuck you, dude. I'm not giving in to you. All right, you're on my time.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
enjoying this. So
You're gonna die from this exchange before
yeah,
I do.
we're gonna die of old age before I give up. You know." So, I think that's what I would say. But the problem is like I know you said it. I have a massive sweet tooth. Like dessert is my biggest thing ever. So much so that like practically like every Sunday we would meet up with my extended family, like my grandparents and that. And like I'll eat a whole cheesecake by myself on a Sunday night because they'd be like, "I thought of you, I bought you this cake," and then no one else would eat it, so I just eat a whole cheesecake by myself, you know. So I think it would have to be right now. I'm really
No
into banana
regrets.
pudding. No regrets. Just give me the biggest bowl of banana pudding you can, and I'm in.
Do you like the vanilla wafers on the banana pudding?
Oh yeah, give me all the extras. Give me everything. Like I'm such a sucker for dessert. I back home in England, pancakes for breakfast, not a thing. Now look at me, I'm a fat ass because I come to America and I'm like, "You can do this for breakfast? What the fuck?" Like, give me everything. I'm super into it.
You can do that. I know American breakfast is not healthy. I work at a convenience store and I see people coming in and they're like, "Yeah, go get your breakfast," and they walk right over to the donut case, and I'm like, "Bro, you're eating cake for breakfast."
But that's what you guys mean when you say liberty, freedom, democracy. You can do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to eat cake for breakfast, you eat fucking cake for breakfast. Just don't complain to me when you got diabetes, okay? Because I'm heading that way, I swear. But no, like that. It's all jokes aside now. But like, I think that's what I would have to go for. It'd have to be unlimited fajitas, unlimited banana pudding, and then I'd probably die of a food coma before they can catch my ass in that chair.
Yeah. No,
So
that's good. I like the banana pudding. That's a good choice. That's aside, like you said, you mentioned cheesecake. That is my biggest thing. I told with the ongoing stomach issues I'm having. I told myself my birthday's coming up in a few weeks. I actually scored like an Amish style cheesecake that was in our local freezer, and it was usually a $50 cheesecake, and they just had tons of them, so they marked them all down to $10. So I scooped it up, and it's got cherries and stuff on top of it, and it's in the freezer waiting for me for my birthday. And I'm like, I told my family, I'm like, I'm inviting everybody over. Please, God, eat the cheesecake because I don't want to eat the whole fucking thing because I will.
So the messed up thing is, like most people in life, I'm lactose intolerant, but you will never keep me away from cheesecake, ice cream, milkshakes. Like pizza, I don't give a fuck. Like you can mess me up all you want, but they're the greatest things in life,
I want to
right?
show you something. Hold on. I just found this also on clearance at the store, and it may benefit you if you can find it. Hold on.
Ooh. I don't think I've ever had Amish food though. That's interesting. Dr. Dive saying Amish food isn't, But yes, whilst he's gone real quick, Dr. Dive, Battle Buddy, I love you. Epic, Heavy, I see you guys, Lieutenant Mao, all these wonderful people coming in, showing the love. So I really do appreciate you.
Yeah, did you distort the video? Is he squished? I can stretch him out. I don't know. Like some people have the issue with that. On my screen it looks
That's the after hours stream.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it looks fine on mine, but maybe here. We'll cuz the problem is when see I would squish him even more. I don't know how I would here, let me crop him more close here. Get out some of his background and then
Dr. Dive, it's just a new look I'm going for, I just felt like me. I want to
There.
be flat. I want to be,
Here, we'll get there. Let's see if this is better.
Hey, heavy. My place, 2100 after hour. No.
That might be better. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know if that can you. Yeah, can you stretch me out too? Hey, there's not enough stretching to go along. But no, actually, the stomach issues that I've developed. Actually, I had surgery, had resection, about a foot worth of intestines removed. And in the surgery, apparently 1 out of 5 people who have the surgery develop this bacteria either through surgical equipment or the surroundings of the hospital. It's contagious. And if you don't get rid of it right away, it can recolonize. And through research, after having it for so long, I've had it for about 3 years now, and I've gotten rid of it a couple times, but it's come back. So it just is, I think, part of me, and I'm getting rid of it now. I feel a lot better, but it has developed me to become lactose intolerant, which is weird. It's something that just started, but they have this, and it seems to have worked okay. But I found it at the store. It's usually $7. It says chocolate that helps you digest cherry or dairy, Happy Cow, and I picked it up for $1, and it's actually a little piece of chocolate that you eat right before you eat dairy, and it works for about an hour. So as much cheesecake as you can eat in an hour. So I'm gonna eat a piece of chocolate, and it's chocolate exactly. Yeah. So and it's like it's dark chocolate. So I was like, I'm gonna eat that before I eat this cheesecake on my birthday, and then hopefully I'll go pretty well. But so I recommend it. You get about like 7 pieces of chocolate in it. So save it for those occasions where you're like, okay, I'm gonna drink 2 milkshakes or something like that. And
I mean, I know like you're getting old when like a podcast comes about talking about being lactose intolerant, but like one of the craziest things is like you said, all it takes is an event for that to happen, because I actually honestly wasn't lactose intolerant until I started visiting America. I don't know what it was. There was something about it. That first trip to Phoenix to see my ex-wife, I went back and I was just like, I can't eat cheese anymore. I can't do anything. And the weirdest thing is, for me, it's not in my stomach, it's my chest. Like I feel like someone's constricting my chest. It's weird. Wow. Yeah, like someone's like grabbing hold of it and just like choking me, and I'm like, but I love the milkshake. Like I don't care. And so like Yeah, well, as soon as you say lactose intolerant, everyone's like, oh, dude, like, you got a 50-50 chance of blowing up the toilet or not, you know? And I see you, Mal. Of course, we're talking toilets, but, like, um, yeah, it's just one of those weird things. So I'll definitely try that because I used to try, like, the lactate milk and stuff, but it just gets so expensive. Um, Again, not to get too political, but everyone obviously doesn't want to give out the good shit for free, The things that help you are the things that cost you, apparently. Good food, like healthy items or things that are going to help because it's
Yeah.
it's harder to produce and stuff, allegedly. But so like in the end I was just like, fuck it, I'm just sending it. Milk is milk, or whatever, like but I would definitely give that a go. That's a really interesting one I've never seen before.
Yeah, I didn't never see it until I came across of it as well, and the stuff that works, it's crazy. When we talk about things that work cost, my medication to get rid of the bacteria, I tried this one antibiotic like 3 times, and it didn't work. And they were skeptic about giving it to me the fourth time because each time you take the antibiotic, it makes it harder or makes it easier for it to come back. So it makes it harder for the next time for it to be successful again. So your percentages get higher and higher that it'll come back each time you take it. Finally, which is messed up because they should have gave me this antibiotic I just took the first time, right? But it costs so much and there's no generic. The antibiotic was $5,000 for a 10-day. You're talking $800 a pill. And it worked for a week afterwards, and then it came right back. And I was like, well, this is great. The best thing that's out there on the market has failed. And it could have been successful if they would have given it to me right away instead of making me go through all these other antibiotics that were like a month-long antibiotic of like 8 pills for each day for the first week, and then a taper type thing. And it's just dumb. It's like we hope for the best, but now I'm doing something that only cost $50 off of Amazon. And I'm getting more success rate. And if it wasn't for me researching and looking through medical documents and finding alternative treatments, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. It probably would have already taken the best of me. So we do the best we can, and we work with what we got. But no, that's awesome, man. Like the whole unlimited fajitas and banana puddings got me wanting some banana pudding and fajitas now.
I don't know where I'll find them both at the same restaurant, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you mentioned you've been streaming a while. How long have you been streaming?
So like I said, I think like technically being on Twitch was like 4-5 years, maybe 5 years. But like I said, things went different ways. I also lost that channel. As always, like fuck knows if I remember my password from when, And so one of the crazy things is that like I have a .co.uk email account and I have a .com, and I don't have access to my .co.uk anymore. So even if I resend passwords and that, it's lost to the ether. You know what I mean? And so actual streaming though was around, I want to say October 21 off the top of my head. I kind of started up getting back into it, and then I went training to California, and that was kind of a weird time for me because during that time I actually gained a stalker that was like pretty intense whilst I was training, being like, where the fuck are you, why are you not on Twitch and all this like crazy shit. Like legit, it was kind of scary. So that was one of 3 stalkers I've had overall, which is insane. But I've also got amazing people in here, so it's worth it. But yeah, and then so I came back, and then as I was going through that mental process of finally realizing that I'm going through a divorce and stuff, that was when my push for affiliate was. And as I mentioned, you guys did an amazing job of doing that, all these wonderful people here. And so I think now I got affiliated January 22. So I'm coming up on like another year and a half of being affiliated. And as many of you people know, my goal was always to be about charity and about support. So making that affiliate was a massive deal for me because I could finally get that donate button. And then ever since, I think now we're at like $3,200 that you guys have raised through my channel, which is insane. Like the love and support is insane. And so that just keeps me going with streaming. I get very, very bad pre-stream anxiety, and so like just having that extra nudge, that push to be like, not only am I going to see amazing people, but we're doing good, like the greater good, right? Like put yourself out there, be uncomfortable. And exactly as Dr. Dive is saying as well, the shitty thing is like, you guys came in and showed all this love and support that first month I was training, and then I just got back from deployment. And that was sucky because I miss the day-to-day of being in people's streams. And I would do what I can to be there. There was some nights that the time zone meant that I was waking up at like 2 a.m. to make sure I caught someone online. And I was on potato Wi-Fi. So like I had a little puck and I could only have one person up at a time. Otherwise my whole shit would crash, And I'm just like, dude, I want to show all this love and support, but I can't. So that was a really rough time to try and be like, all right, Twitch is my next biggest thing in terms of like what I love to do. And so it was rough that, a large chunk of my time was taken up with that. But that's why I want to make sure that even now I'm on leave for 2 weeks, my first leave in like 3 years, technically, because my last leave was not on paper. They just told me go the fuck home for 2 weeks, and I was like, all right, cool. So like now I want to show that love and support. I want to be here for everyone while I can, and kind of make up for those 9 months where I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I couldn't be there.
But it's very nice of you, but it is to me no need. I've always known that you're supportive of the stream, supportive of the community. Myself, it's always okay to take some time for ourselves, right? And make sure our self-care is good, make sure we're good, and then when we're fine and able, be hopefully you're welcomed in, as usual. And but yeah, so what hobbies do you have outside of streaming? Is there things that you enjoy doing that you're not required to do, but you just do for the hell of it?
So one of the biggest ones obviously is just gaming in general. I've always been into gaming, and I grew up in that era where like you'd get bullied the fuck out of, but for being a gamer, you know what I mean? And now everyone does it. It's like anything in life. Like as soon as the right people are in the right circles, it becomes cool, right? Or whatever. But like gaming was always a thing, a consistent thing in my life. And then reading, I do enjoy to read. I need to get back to it. Because I used to try and force myself to be like, okay, I have to read a chapter of a book every day. Whether that's a self-help book, whether that's something I want to read for the sake of reading, history, something. But other than that, honestly, it's volunteer work. So like I do volunteer at the dog shelter during deployment. I volunteered for the Red Cross and the USO, which is all about soldier morale. And as not a people person, that was a lot of fucking fun. I met a lot of good people. We did a lot of good. And so, yeah, in terms of any other like cool hobbies, I don't really have anything. I'm not an athletic person. In fact, PT is the worst thing in the world for me. But on top of it, it's part of my job. It's a requirement. And so like, if anything PT related, I do enjoy hiking. But I have to be with the right people that are going to enjoy it too. If you're going to sit there and fucking moan the whole time that you're tired and it's hot and you're not enjoying it, you're not being present. And I think that's part of the military in me. Dr. Dive and that can attest. Every time you go on a ruck march, there's always someone behind you going like, oh, I'm tired. How far? And you're like, shut the fuck up. That's not helping.
I know. It's like everybody's fucking tired, asshat.
Exactly. So you're like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, if you, what we call embrace the suck, you're going to enjoy yourself. Because, like, you are, honestly, like, there's been some moments that like I swear I was on death's door, you know, and then I look back on it and I was like, dude, but we had a blast. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're just fucking in the moment where like your feet are hurting, your back's sore, you're fucking, but you made it, you know? Like the sense of accomplishment of just being like, one of those examples was in basic training. You do what's like 3 stages: the hammer, the forge, and no, it's the hammer, anvil, forge, and they're like series of field exercises. And the forge at the end is meant to be a 10-mile ruck with 40 pounds on your back. That's what we were told. It turns out it had to be 30 pounds, but once again, they make you do that little bit extra to embrace that suck, right? And it just came down to it that it was meant to be a 10-mile ruck. We got to the 10th mile and they said, oh no, we're doing a victory lap. We're like, what do you mean a victory lap? We did our 10 miles. And they're like, we didn't say 10 miles. Like regulation said 10 miles, but we're doing 12. And you're like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, so you're like, my feet were on fire. They had like, all the blisters had burst in my feet. There was a girl, she had 13 stress fractures in her shins and she kept going. She was 99 pounds. She was on double rations, but she wanted to be a medic so bad that she was like limping and crying and her feet were covered in blood and she kept going. And I was like, if she can fucking do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? And then again, there was people complaining like, oh, I'm tired. And I'm like, bitch, please. Look at her. You think she's not tired? She kept going, you know, and she ended up making it. She got what's called recycled, where like they keep you in training medically until she could do it. But like that's the drive and determination that was like, if she can do it, I can fucking do it. And I've tried to take that mentality everywhere I go. People call it stubbornness. I just call it pride. Right? Like I will fucking do this. All right.
Yeah, and it makes it. I feel like, you know, doing that makes you a better person. You know, it makes you the better version of yourself that you never imagined that you could go through, and that's a big boost of self-confidence. You know, it's like, holy shit, I did this. You know, they did this. You know.
Exactly, and that's why they called it the forge. Was it was like reforging you to be like, hey, you know, I can push on. And that's where, like I said, PT is not my thing, but the charity stuff is I don't know, for lack of better term, but it's like accountability, right? Because if I tell you I'm gonna do, like, whilst on deployed, I did a 10k run in a gas mask, wearing my 20-pound body armor, carrying our unit shield. And because I had charity, people were raising money for Wounded Warrior Project. I said, I gotta fucking do this now. I can't back out. Like, you guys have put the money into it. And that was like every fucking step I took for me was like, I can't fucking breathe. I just want to lie down and die. But then it's like, no, I have to fucking make it now. And that's what really, as soon as I got over that finish line in my head, as soon as my watch went off that said, you're good, the sense of relief and pride of like, well, I did it. I could have shit out and said I did it, or I could have, but it's like, no, it's pushing you forward. And that's one of those things that as I go through my own mental health struggles and everyone else does, one foot in front of the other, you know, keep fucking moving forward. As soon as you stop and you don't think about, overthink these things, you're never going to make it. And so like those kind of key memories to me of what really I take out of the military and stuff is like, hey, you've got to keep fucking moving forward. So much so I went from Bravo run group down to Charlie, but now I lead it. And everyone's like, you really keep me going, because I'll be running backwards on a broken knee going, hey, if I can fucking do this, you're fucking moving your ass, all right? We're one foot in front of the other. Let's keep going. And before you know it, it's over. So that's like a big motivator for me. And like I said, people in chat, all these things, everyone that shows that love helps support that for me. Is they keep me one foot in front of the other. Because if I can do better for myself, I can do better for you. So that's just my mentality to leadership. And I'll never ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do. And so if I have to do fucking push-ups on stream and I have to be on camera and I have to put myself out there, like, that's because I want you guys to realize your potential and push yourselves. So
No, that's awesome. I think, and that's definitely a good mindset to have, and a good way to initiate change within others. You know, because they sometimes people aren't going to do it themselves. They need a motivation somewhere, right? They need someone to encourage them, either directly or even indirectly through subconsciousness, through influence, right? Through us, through you. So that's awesome, man. I love to hear it. So one of the questions is, what's some of your favorite games to play? Like, what have been?
so as most people know me, I'm generally a variety streamer, but when I stream, I love Halo. I've always had a love for Halo. Ever since it first come out, I never had the original Xbox when it came out, but I would go around friends' houses, and then as soon as I could afford to buy my own Xbox, that was the first game that was on my list. Like, I went back and was like, right from the beginning. But off stream as well, like, I'll play anything. Honestly, I love giving games a chance. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, hence the Wristblade and things like that. But then there's like, if someone recommends a game, I'll do my best to try it. Because I think what I have to do sometimes is they're like, oh, the graphics are a bit shit, or it's a bit janky, it was a bit, but it's the love and passion that someone's put into that game. Okay, there are some games where there's no love and passion, and you can tell that, because they've been worked to the bone. It's no longer a passion project. It's about money. But I love trying games. So my now go-to is Dead by Daylight, because it's simple. I can just pick it up, I can play. It's bite-sized if I want it to be, or I can spend forever on it. But yeah, I mean, recently I've been playing Baldur's Gate, which I never thought I would enjoy, just because of the way the gameplay is. But now I'm fucking loving it because I gave it that chance. A lot of my tattoos are gaming related, and an example of that is part of a helmet I got on the back on my back is the Big Daddy from BioShock, because it's like, I never thought I'd play that game. Everyone used to rant and rave about it, and I was like, it's not for me. And then I played it, and I was like, dude, you got to take a chance. This game is fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you got to take that plunge, spend a bit of money, enjoy it, whatever. But I'll play like literally anything. I am on Xbox predominantly. I just bought a PC, so I'm having people be like, hey, play Valorant, play these, and I'm like, let me just get back into life, and I'll set all this stuff up, and I'll expand my horizons. But yeah, like, gaming is just a huge part of who I am, and I'm so thankful for it. In fact, my back tattoo actually says "One life lived through many," because it really was one of those things that really opened up my horizons, really made me feel like I could be anyone or do anything I wanted to do. As I said, reading was one of those things, but gaming is so interactive. You know, one minute you're wandering the plains of Red Dead Redemption, the next you're fighting a battle in space, like, and you're the character. You're portraying yourself how you really see yourself a lot of the time, or you're living through someone else's shoes and seeing stuff that you would never experience. So that's what I truly love about gaming and experiencing different games.
Have you, with you having the new PC there? Congratulations again. That's amazing accomplishment. You know, now part of the gaming world. I think everybody, gamers, you know, they all live to imagine a day where they'll be able to get a computer, right? And their little baby and stuff. So congratulations there. Trash Panda here in the community is a tester for a new game that might be something of interest to you called Gray Zone Warfare. Have you heard of it, or have you seen?
I can't say that I have. I'm guessing it is predominantly PC, so I'm just learning more PC games. But again, I'm always going to try things if people say, obviously as well, if things are free or in beta and stuff, like, that's perfect time for me to get a bite-sized chunk and get involved in it. But like, as you said, I've only just got this because deployment money was good. But then life hit me fucking hard as soon as I got back and was like, hey, probably shouldn't have bought that PC, but fuck it, right? We can't take it with us. So yeah, like, I'm still learning a lot about being on PC. So much so that I'm only setting up my stuff for stream on PC right now. I was someone that streamed off a laptop and my Xbox. and as I call it, scrub streaming, because at the end of the day, like, everything I do is scrub stuff, but you guys enjoy it, so I'm for it. And now I'm trying to learn to make things better. So like, I will definitely give games like that a go. I can't say I've seen it. If you can give me a bit of a backstory to it, even better.
It's a military style game. Great graphics. I'm not sure the specs needed are somewhat high. It's pretty buggy at the moment, but they're doing, I think, a hot fix today. They've done many hot fixes. It kind of reminds me of what's the game called? I was talked about it yesterday, and Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov. So it's kind of like, but a little different, because like the projectiles, the bullet casing, everything has the damage is based off of like the organs that are hit in the body. So it's not based off like the gun damage and stuff like that. So it's a little different type game, but it looks beautiful, looks great, something that you may find interesting. And so if that's something in the future, I know we will be doing. And you mentioned Dead by Daylight. We did a game review on Saturday with Rider29, where there's actually a game very similar to Dead by Daylight with those mechanics where you have killers and survivors. But it is Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which come out next month, where there's 3 clowns, the 3 classic clowns from the movie, and then there's 7 survivors who are the town folk, and they have to band together to kill the clowns, and then the clowns try to kill the survivors. Looks very interesting. Comes out next month. I'll be scooping that up and hopefully playing that. So we're going to try to get a party together, hopefully like maybe a custom 10-person lobby where we have all 7 survivors and the 3 killers all hanging out. So definitely something to consider. And the offer also goes out if you get discouraged with setting stuff up, or you're having some issues with audio, video. I know you got the wonderful Dr. Dive in your corner, and I'm sure he'll take care of you very well there. But if you feel like you're burning his ear off, or maybe he's not available at the time and you're having some troubles, don't feel fear to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help you out.
And I super appreciate that, and that's kind of the love and support that I'm on about as well. Is it's not just friendships. Like, everyone, like I said, is having struggles, and there's sometimes the simplest thing. Like, my wonderful mod, the Lala Leah, I was on with her yesterday on a Discord call, and like, I'm stressing the fuck out. I'm like, this isn't working, and she's like, chill, we're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? And I'm like here going like, fuck, now my audio's broke and all that, and I'm all over the place. And that's that love and support that I appreciate, is that everyone, including yourself, has offered like, hey, if you have issues, don't be afraid to reach out. And that should be for everything. I hope people know that if I have any kind of knowledge in anything, I will always share it. I don't see the point in holding on to it and being like, no, like, like, we're all here to help each other grow, support each other. And the same with everything mental health. The same if everyone's having a bad day, reach out. Like, I may be busy, but I will get back to your message. Like, and I'll be there for you as best I can. So same thing with streaming and that. I know you're a big person that helps push people to affiliate. My amazing people that I know have also done the same. And so, like, why not share that knowledge? Why not help people grow? If people work for it, then we can help them. If people don't want to work for it, that's different. We're going to definitely be like, nah, I'm not ascending you to somewhere that you're not trying for. You have to have that passion, that love for it, just like we do. We're just thankful to know each other, and be able to help support each other like that. Some people are just out there looking for that.
Yeah, exactly. And we want, people to want to help themselves too, right? We could give it to you, but like, we want you to earn it, and we want you to listen and learn and grow. Because, I've spoken on deaf ears before where I'm like, hey, you're streaming too much, you're streaming way too much, and it's killing your average. And I even saw someone on Facebook where they posted up their stats, and they're like, okay, I'm almost to 3, and they're like 1.7 something. And I don't think they realize how far that 1.7 is, especially they had like 80 hours streamed. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, you're not going to hit that this month. I'm just letting you know. You're going to have to let some of them days fall off over a week or two, and then strive for the next 4 weeks or those 2 weeks. Once you knock off some of that average, you got to network. You got to meet people. You got to build relationships in maybe the game categories that you're playing, or around the same time maybe that you plan to stream. You got to have a consistent schedule, even if it's only a day a week. So people know when to expect you to be on. Talk about it, but don't self-promo, right? Like, and I'm fine with self-promo. I'm one of those guys where come in, tell me you're streaming, talk about your stream. That's fine with me. But don't expect, if you come into my stream and say, hey, I'm about to start streaming, that everybody in this chat just flocks over to your stream. It's just not going to happen like that sometimes. Maybe someone will stop in and say, hi, I saw you in Jokerdad stream and I thought I'd check you out. That's cool. I'm all for it, but like there's proper channels and ways of doing it. And I'm willing to help, and I'm willing to teach those people. And so yeah, run to me. I'm about to stream. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And that's the thing is like, so like you said, there's a lot of people that it falls on deaf ears, and there's some people that I really want, like I want the best for, because I'm like, you've got the potential to do really great, but you're just doing these missteps right now. And those are the people that I love working with, in general, streaming especially, because it's like, hey, if you actually listen, like you'll get this. And it's not about me having an ego and being like, trust me, I can do this. It's like, no, we're experienced in this now. Again, Heavy Hustle, Dr. Dive, Clutch World, yourself, you all help me forge my own little packet of like, here's how I can get you to affiliate, but I need the effort for you. Even people like recently, it normally happens with small streamers, but they'll come in and they'll be like, hey, follow for follow. And I'm like, dude, take you off to the side. Like, if you want to do this for real, like, that's not going to work. You don't just pop in someone's stream, be follow for follow, shit like that. As I said,
I told them that too. I was like, look, you chill here for a bit. If you like what you like, follow. I will then in return follow you, not because you followed me, but because I do genuinely want to check out your content.
Yeah.
And I made that point, and I was like, because we don't do that here, and it's only going to burn bridges. But yeah, go ahead.
No, exactly. And like, so as I said, like I spend 90 to 95% of my time on Twitch in other people's streams. And that's not about self-promotion for me. That's because if I found someone super positive and loving in a chat, like say I'm here, I'm with Jokerdad and Scapular Bark is here. She's talking it up. She's positive. She's like showing like a genuine side to herself as she's here. I'll drop that follow. Right, and I'll be like, at some point I'll get round to checking out the vibes, but maybe I'm busy, maybe I'm not, and eventually I'll go in, and there may be like 1 or 2 streams I lurk in to kind of see if it's like, hey, is this the genuine person that's been on that in that chat? And as soon as they show that side of like, it could be immediate, it could not be, they show that immediate side of the positive and the genuine, I'm going to hang around, and I'm going to be there. And I've had people that I followed for like 4 or 5 months that didn't even know that I streamed myself, because we're on different time zones or whatever, but they're like, yo, why didn't you ever tell me? And I'm like, because I'm not here for me, I'm here to be with you guys. If you want to come into my stream and find new friends, by more the merrier, I want you guys to find that love. But I'm never gonna be in there going like, hey guys, I'm about to stream, so even one of the simplest things, right, is like Leah told me off for it yesterday because I jumped in her stream and I was like, sorry, I've been busy, but I made it, and she's like, oh, stop it, you were streaming, I had you tabbed up, but I'm not going to go in there and immediately be like, sorry guys, I'm streaming, because it feels like it's self-promotion. I'm all about you guys self-promoting for sure, especially if I get to know you. Oh, sorry, there's dog fur flying everywhere, the dogs are up. But, and then, so like, it's kind of like a hypocritical thing where everyone's like, but you never self-promote for yourself. And I'm like, because I don't need to, because by being a part of you guys just show that love to me. I don't need follows and that. I want
exactly. Yeah, we'll self promo for you. Just by being you. If people would genuinely enjoy your your company and your what you're doing, they'll talk about it. You know, I always love when I see you hop in. I'm like, oh, it's Canine. You know, like, you know, if you guys want a dog lover, you know, someone who's into charities, who's just a chill vibe, very kind, generous, that's your place to be. You know, and I love to come into your streams and just relax, you know, and feel at home and feel comfortable with where I'm at. I get to, like you said, I get to meet a lot of awesome people from your community when I come in, who are all generous and kind people too. And I think that shows the part of ourselves, right? I've been into streams where everybody were assholes. And it's even the streamer being the main asshole of them all. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a very toxic stream. So I'm very blessed that I don't have that here. And it's a splitting image of ourselves, really. The people that we associate with and we surround ourselves with are genuinely kind of an image of ourselves to a point, right? Sometimes we have our bad apples and people who have bad days. And I try to push aside from that because not everybody's going to have great days. Not everybody's going to have a good attitude. And sometimes it shows within our stream and sometimes it shows within our chat text. And you can feel the vibe right away from people. And I give them the reverse card, right? I'll give them the skip or the go, you know, right. Because it's you know, everybody has bad days, but if you consistently are negative, I may have to weed you out. Unfortunately, I'm not that type of person because then you're starting to affect my well-being and you're starting to affect my mindset. And when that starts to happen, then I have to look the other way. Because then you're starting to affect my community and the people who are within the community. And I'm just blessed, man. I'm really happy to have you here, man. I really am.
You know, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you. I know that we used to do some Discord calls and stuff before, like in the background and stuff. And like, it's one of those things that like I really truly appreciate people giving me the opportunity. We're doing a lot for Mental Health Awareness Month. And as I said, like people think I got my shit together. I really don't. Like I'm a ball of depression and anxiety and all the fun shit, right? But like things like this, I hype myself up, I work myself up, and then I just sit here and it's natural. Everyone in chat, like, you know, like I can see faces, I can see things, and it's just like you're in the room with me and I forget who I am and I forget all that shit, you know what I mean? So like you're one of those people that I think we could just sit here and talk forever, whether it's about the fucking politics of Africa or fucking, you know, like
I was about to say, whatever, which don't get me on because over there they have terrible internet.
So we're already like, that's what I mean. It's like it's a very natural thing, which is why, like, truly, you're a great podcast host. You know, you're like obviously very supportive of everyone. You do your thing, and people can gravitate towards that because, again, you're a people person at heart, even if you don't think you are. At times, you know, like people have that gravity towards you, and these people in chat, like there's a lot of people here that think like, oh, I'm not that important or whatever, but like truly they are.
No, they absolutely are, and I've heard them say that. They're, oh, I'm no Jokerdad, or no, you're don't even compare yourself to me because you're way beyond me, right? You guys just don't see your self-worth. And I'm guilty of it. I don't see my self-worth. You know, when I hear you guys talk about me, I'm like, oh God, yeah, like this guy, you know.
But that's a great point, right? Is that like I actually truly learned this in basic training, right? Because I had a drill sergeant who was phenomenal. He was the best teacher I think I've ever had in my life. Like, because he did the drill sergeant thing, but when he knew I was really struggling, like a simple thing, right, is that I can't learn to shoot right-handed because I'm left eye dominant. So all my shots were drifting left. And he took the time to be like, no, here's what we're going to do. We're going to teach you how to shoot left-handed. We're going to teach you reloads. We're going to teach you everything. Because he had issues with his eyes, right? And he was like, I had to learn to be ambidextrous. And those sorts of things are like really resonated with me. And then at the end of it, I said those words, right? I said, I want to be like you when I grow up. Now, he's younger than me. He was like 26. And he was like, do you know what I want you to realize? Imitation may be Imitation is the biggest form of flattery, but it's also your downfall, right? Because what you should be doing is taking the best bits of everything you learn and the worst bits of everyone that you're around, and make yourself, you know, because I may have liked the way he taught this, but I may have thought he did shit here. And then I like the way someone else does this, and they do shit here. And so I combined all the things I enjoyed so that I wasn't being that one person. Like, I could say to you as a joke, like, I want to be just like you, Jokerdad. But, like, we have differences, but we also have similarities. And why shouldn't we grow off each other and realize what we like about each other? Like you said, you kind of were inspired to do charity stuff. Now, I'm not asking you to become a charity streamer, you know, but, like, it's a one thing that you enjoyed from seeing people in your community like myself, and you added that to your own thing and went, I'm a humanitarian anyway, why not try it out? Things like that. So for me, that's what I like. People are always like, oh, I want to be like you and that, and I'm like, you don't really want to be like me. There's certain things you like about me, and I'm more than happy to teach you what I know, or you can be that. But at the same time, I want you to be you at the end of the day. I don't want a replication of me because I don't like myself. That means I'm not going to like you. I'm joking. But, you know, it's like, it's those things where it's like, we all need to learn off each other and take the best and the worst that we don't like and mold ourselves, I think, at the end of the day.
No, exactly. And that makes, again, us better versions of ourselves because we're learning, we're living through others' experiences and others' knowledge. And then hopefully by the end of it all, we can pass that on to someone else. Like, what good's it bottling up all that we have to offer if we can't provide something to someone else? And that's one thing that's been really great within the community, within the Discord and the Kingdom of Clowns that we've been building is everybody's willing to step up and provide something that they know. You know, we're always troubleshooting. We're always trying to help one another if there's an issue that they're having on their stream or even in real life. Maybe someone's going through stuff and just needs someone to talk to, or and I think that's where it's at, is knowing that it's okay to reach out, you know, that someone is there who's willing to help. Especially, you know, seeing that a lot of us don't have that locally. You know, I don't have a lot of friends in my area that are free to just be able to answer a call or to respond to a DM. I don't have family who I can show up to meet. When I'm having a bad day, I can't like just drive across the street and go see my uncle or auntie or any of those people, or mom or dad. Like, none of those people exist in my life. So to find that connection through complete strangers who have become family goes a long way, and I can't imagine life without that now. So you guys have really created something that I never perceived to even be possible. And just me and you sitting down today, having this conversation, being able to talk about this stuff openly, and hope to encourage others to do the same. Goes a long way. So I'm very blessed to have you as a guest today, and I've looked up to this moment for some time. So, because I know you have a lot to offer, even though you may not see it, you encourage a lot of people through your stream and through your words and through your influence. So, again, I'm going to give you a round of applause for everything you do.
Again, no. You got but like
reverse card. I'm gonna shred that fucking card up, Kate.
You come at me. You catch these damn hands. This thing's a lifesaver. You know?
Yeah. Do you pull that out during field training too? You're like, no, drill sergeant, reverse.
Yeah. Enemies shooting at me, and I'm like, no, you, and then they shoot them. Like,
yeah.
But, you know. No, like, again, so as you just kind of mentioned, though, like, it's going to get a little bit deep here, but like, as you said about
that's what
having
she said.
Support,
sorry,
I mean, don't worry, we're all about the sussiness too. I mean, I hope she said that, but so the thing is like, I can preach all I want about things like mental health, for example, but I wasn't practicing it. So like, now I'm being very open in saying that I'm seeking the help I need through the military, for my anxiety, depression, PTSD, all these things that, like, I can tell you guys, like, hey, go seek help, go reach out to someone. But because of my nature, I don't want to burden people. I don't want to be that person that's like, hey, I'm having problems, you know? And I got told off very recently whilst I was on deployment. I was having a lot of phone calls with with some close people from my community, my friends, and they're like, dude, you need to start looking out for yourself. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Because like, I'm here for you. You called me for this problem you're having, and I enjoy helping people. And they're like, but you're not going to be able to help me if you can't help yourself. You're going through some stuff. And so I'm doing my best to do that. But as you said, I want people to realize that, like, even if I'm going through things, I'm still here for you, you know, like, and I never am one to do, like, one-up bullshit. I don't believe in the one-up. Like, oh, just because, unfortunately, your cat died today, I've had 2 animals in my past die. You know what I mean? I don't believe in that. If I'm doing it, it's because we're sharing experience. And being like, hey, I want you to realize that, like, I can feel some of what you feel. I can't exactly empathize or sympathize any of the thighs, but like I can do my best to. And we have that shared experience. Like, I'm never going to be able to tell what it's like to have stomach surgery until I have it. But I can ask you and then be like, oh, it kind of relates to when I had surgery for this instead, you know? And then it's about being together and realizing
it's a comparison that we're all in it together, right? And
exactly.
And that's like the hardest 100%. Part is because I do the same. I try. It's not about the one up, you know, and it's just that, hey, you know, I'm just letting you know that I've experienced something and I can somewhat relate, but I don't understand, you know, but I'm letting you know that, you know, you're not in this alone, because I've had people perceive that I am doing that, you know. It's like, well, whenever anything's wrong, you just compare your situation to what they're going through. And I said, yeah, because I don't want that person to feel like they're alone, like they're struggling through this by themselves. I want them to know that, you know, there has people who have accomplished similar things and have lived to tell the tale, right? And they're not in this by themselves. And some people think it's like more self-centered. Well, you're just disregarding what that person's going through and sharing your experience. And I'm like, nah, it's not. To me, it's not like that. Maybe it's perceived that way, but that's not how I feel. So I apologize, but
no, and that's just it. That's like, what I'm saying is, like, because we can sit here and talk all day, and then some people are like, oh, it sounds like a pissing contest, you know, with some people where, like, they're like, well, you had this happen to you, you had this. It's not about that for me. It's about, like you said, we're all in a fucking boat of life, and we're all rowing at our own speed, and we're trying, but like, hey, we've all rowed before, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's like, how are we relating that stress to each other, you know, and stuff. And so, even if I'm going through stuff, like, for anyone that needs it, like, my DMs are open, like I said. And so, like, don't ever feel like you can't have at least one person to reach out to. Support networks are huge. As Joker said, like, for many of us, streaming has been that support network. I know that there's moments where I could message Epic, and she's busy at work, but she's going to get back to me, you know what I mean? Or, like, things like that. Like I said, if even, like, being sat in the middle of a fucking desert and then I get that one bit of internet signal that pings up a message from someone being like, hey man, how you doing? Can always make the difference, you know. And so I'm trying to practice what I preach and be more open, be more, you know. And it's never about, like, I always feel bad sitting on something like a podcast like this and talking about myself, because like I said, it's all about you guys. But if I can give my experience to better someone else, 100% I will do that. And that means sometimes going to the darkest parts of your memory or your personality to prove to people that, like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know. I can come here, I can put on the fucking blues and twos, I can fucking hype people up like no end, you know what I mean? But, like, you know, but at the same time, like, we all have struggles, and so I appreciate everyone that's coming by, showing that love. But everything that goes on, you don't have to sit here and listen to us, but yet you do. And hopefully you guys can relate to some of it and are willing to eventually share your stories, because we love hearing them. So
yeah, exactly. It makes everybody unique in themselves, right? And I really enjoy listening to people, their experiences, and that's one reason I love the show. One reason I love being a host on a show is I get to listen to those experiences and learn from them and relate, even though sometimes some of the experiences it's hard for me to relate to because I've never walked in their shoes, but I can imagine the struggles and the hardships that they go through on a daily basis, and my heart goes out to them. You know, all the guests that I've had on, all the guests that I hope to have on, because there will be one day that there won't be a show, and that even though I won't be here to know, I will feel saddened for the people that I never got a chance to experience and meet, and hopefully there'll be someone like me out there that will pick up from where I left off or do something similar to fill in that void, and we've said it before. Well, awesome, Blake. Your corner desk is coming today. Welcome in, Care Bear Lynn. Appreciate you being here as well. Good morning. Happy Monday. Go
I was
ahead.
just going to say there's a very quick thing about that, right? One thing I've learned recently is never take excitement from someone, all right? So fuck yeah, Blake, that your desk is coming. I'm excited for you, because having certain things in your life where you've looked forward to it and you're about it, fuck yeah. You get that desk, you set it up, you have your space, all right? So one thing I'm learning, never take excitement from someone, because fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited too. We've had a lot of people excited. I mean, you got your new computer. You got Blake getting her corner desk. I know Ryder recently got his desk. He came across a desk at a yard sale too, and he was like, yeah, and it's awesome, man. And that's the thing. That's what life's about. It's about being excited. It's about finding happiness in even some of the littlest things, and yeah. And that's what it's happy to see. I was going to ask you, are you the only kid, or do you have brothers, sisters?
No, so I'm what's known as the forgotten child, the middle child. No, it's not that bad. No, I'm the middle child. So I have an older brother and a younger sister. Now, we kind of fell into categories growing up. My brother, he was super into fitness, sports. He should have gone pro for rugby, but life happened. Now he does like obstacle course racing championships, etc. He's jacked. You know what I mean? And then there's me. I was the quiet one. I was the reserved one. I like to put it like I was like the ugly duckling that never got to be a swan, because like I had to like find things in comedy, right? I had to be like, to be able to be noticed, I had to be funny and stuff. And it's a thing, people, like, you don't understand when a fucking joke misses, that shit's the worst thing in the world, right? But like, yeah. You're like, damn, my whole identity. But like, I was
who am I?
I was pushed more towards like not only like being more reserved, being more introverted, trying to find a path for myself, but like I was pushed more towards the intellectual pursuits. Like my parents wanted me to go to university and stuff, and I just didn't. But then like my sister, she's the young sister, right? She's just gonna get attention because she's a younger sister, and she was her own like thing. But the great thing is like, I think that helped me become who I am today, because even the fact that I haven't seen my family in 5 years because of the military and because of moving. My brother did come out to visit me, and he's like, dude, you're a totally different person. You know what I mean? Because I went out and I forged my own path away from those things. Like, truly, I wish I could be around my family. We were a very close family. But it made me grow as a person because of like having them as my brother. My parents were always involved in his sporting pursuits, and then my sister just doing whatever she wanted because, little girl. So I was in that middle ground that was just like, I joke and I say like, sometimes I think my parents like don't even realize that I'm gone. They think I'm still upstairs on my Xbox, and it's been 5 years. Like,
yeah,
like they obviously do miss me, and I call them and that, but like, it's just one of those things that like, being the middle child, I just kind of learned to do my own thing. So it was kind of a blessing and a curse. When you grow up, you always want to be popular, you always want to be, whatever. And then like now I'm just like, nah, I'm good, I'm chilling. Like if I talk to you guys, I appreciate reaching out to you, but like I'm glad that I don't have to be in the spotlight wanting that, attention, because it's not me. It was never me, but obviously like as well that they say, the usual things. They're super proud of my accomplishments with, the military, moving away, doing all this stuff. So they show their love in those ways too. So it's not truly middle child, where I'm completely forgotten. But
Yeah, no, that's a good background, you know, being the middle kid there, you know, that having that experience of having an older brother, a younger sister, and then you know, moving away and forging yourself to your own identity and breaking out of that middle child ground. Do you have any like biggest fears in life, things that you kind of are fearful of?
to be honest, there's a lot that I'm actually kind of a nervous wreck with. Like, you know, like the usual stuff, heights. When I used to work in construction, and I was never good with heights anyway, but I fell 3 stories through a scaffold, and that really put me off heights. You know, it's crazy how that works, right? Called PTSD.
Yeah.
Look it up. But you know, it's those sort of things. Like there's those sort of fears. I couldn't swim well as a kid. So deep water, that's why I didn't join the Navy, right? But like, you know, there's like those things. But I think overall, there's some deeper fears for me. I do have elements of PTSD. Like if you fucking chase me, I will fucking murder you. You know, like I can't be chased, I will fight back. Like there's something about that again, childhood experiences and stuff. But then it goes deeper and deeper to a lot of my fears are just not being there for people. My fears are I have struggles myself with survivor guilt. Not because I've seen people die around me in that, but it's like why wasn't it me? You know, like as we're deployed and we're getting the call for people to go do stuff, I'm like, it should be me. Why are they risking themselves when they have a family or whatever? Look at me, I just have me and my dog, you know, and I have someone that could look after my dog, but they have a whole ass family. Like those are my deep fears, is that the wrong person goes at the wrong time, you know, and we have lost a lot of people. We've lost them to themselves as well as accidents and stuff, and you just never know. I don't fear death. I don't fear any of that. In fact, I'm chilling. If I go in the right way, I go to Valhalla. If if I stay around, I can do some good around here. So I've come to terms with that. But it's more those fears that like you don't get to say things to certain people. You know, like I joke around with my mom and that like every time she says I love you over a phone call, I act like it's cutting out. Or I'm like, at the end of the day, she knows I love her or whatever. But it's like the things that you don't get to say to people, the things you never got to do. That's my fears. So that's why I try and push myself to do better every day. Even if it's like I give that 1% effort to do something good or leave not necessarily a legacy, but an inspiration to someone to do 1% better for themselves. That's my fear. My fear is that like people, sure, they're going to forget about you in the time in the long run, but one day I want someone to look at a dog and just be like, damn, I remember K9 and the work he did for those dogs. When they see those 2 letters, K9 or something, that's my fear.
I'm always remembering, man. You don't have a fear of that. I'm telling you, because you know, me and Joker Mom, we go to the animal shelter all the time, and you've been in my mind several times when we're out there walking the dogs or petting the cats and stuff, because like those animals, they love unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? They really do. They love unconditionally. It doesn't matter who you are. They're willing to give it all to you for you to love them back, and that's genuine. And when I see that and I think of that, I think of you, and you give your love genuinely to others unconditionally, and we appreciate it, man. We really do. And so thank you again for that.
I was about to hang up and be like, my job's done then, but no, like,
yeah, exactly.
but no, like for example, you saying about that unconditional love, like, for example, Sergeant Huey, he's a rescue from that shelter, and that's the type of inspiration that like most people, you know, will never find, because he is like the biggest lover I've ever known. He wants unconditional attention. He pines for me when I'm not here and that, and it's not about me, because I reciprocate that. Like I'd be lost without him, for example. And so like I'm blessed that I found him. I don't know what I did in life to deserve him. You know, that's like my mentality. And everyone's like, but you do good, whatever. Like I've also lived a shitty life, doing some dubious things and all that like fun stuff. You grow up, right? You learn from your experiences. But like something out there, whatever it is, you know, like gave him to me, and I'm super thankful for that. And it was an off chance that we weren't even going to get him. We were about to take a different dog, you know, and then we seen him, and it was like it was just meant to be, you know. And so now I try and take that mentality moving forward. Like, if you know, this creature that can't even communicate with me can show so much love, through other forms of communication. Like, why can't we do better? Why can't we show that love? Why can't we show that appreciation? And so that's one thing that really heavily inspired me, and I'm glad other people see that, like yourself and Joker Mom. You go to the shelter and you feel that kind of want, that like shared connection of like, hey, we're just all in this together. We're trying to live. We're trying to be happy together, you know. I see you, Nova, as well, but like, you know, like that to me is like one of the most important things, and I'm very thankful as well that I got him registered. He's also a therapy animal for single soldiers, so I take him to work now. My first sergeant approved that I could take him to work, like 3 out of the 5 days of the week, and everyone loves him.
Yeah, and,
Like,
and now you can share him with others, right? And he can share his love with others, and that impacts them, you know, because you never know the day they're going through, and they get to see him and get to, you know, receive that love, and then they can share their love with others, you know, finally for that day, because they may have a terrible day and not be able to reciprocate that to others, you know.
Exactly, and that's like, I've had some of those moments that like bring me to tears, because like I remember one time I took him to the pub on post, and like someone came like shyly over. He was like looking around, and he's like, "Can I pet the dog?" You know, and this is some big jack dude, tatted up, like, and he's like, "Can I pet the dog?" You know, and I'm like, "Dude, of course!" Like he loves attention and stuff. And he, by the end of it, he was on the floor crying, rolling around on the floor with him, going like, "I miss my dog. I haven't seen him in forever. Like, thank you," and that. And I'm like, dude, if Huey can do that type of good, I'll take him anywhere. You know what I mean? And I'm there like biting, trying not to cry. Like, dude, stop. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, you're making me all emotional. But like, yeah, that sort of thing, like, is like, sometimes I feel like he was an extension of myself, where like he just wants to do good, you know, and he does good. So I hope I do enough good for you guys, and I know I'm working on that. Everyone's going to be like, of course you do. But, you know, you always have this nagging thing in your head that's like, am I doing enough?
Yeah, it's an inner battle that we all face. And I think that's something to chat, to really listen. And for all those who are still listening in, that, you know, you have worth, and your worth is being received and noticed by others around you, even though that at times you may not see it yourself, you know, and it's really tough. We all struggle, so it's we'll get there, and we'll get there together, guys. You know, that's the biggest thing. And but yeah, if one of the questions, we have a lot of fun questions here too. If you were a superhero, K9, what would your superpowers be?
I already thought of this question a long time ago, and one of the things that I loved about everything superheroes is that like there's a gift and a curse, you know, to everything you do. Like, obviously, Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility and stuff like that. But my superpower is one that I would love to have, the copycat ability. I would love to be able to basically do Matrix stuff, like plug some shit into the back of my head and learn it. Or the show Heroes was a good example of this, where she could see someone do a backflip, and then she can do a backflip. She reads Korean. She knows how to read Korean or whatever. And I think that would be one of the most amazing abilities, because you could do so much with that. You know, like you could say someone's struggling to translate something, or you can do that, or someone's struggling to, you know, in a fight, you learn how to fight or whatever. But I think the fun side of that would be that the curse is that you kind of lose yourself. You lose yourself, and we spend so long forging who we are that for you to not know who you are all of a sudden would be really jarring. You know, like, what is my actual capability and what is my power? You know, what is that taken from me? So that's my big one that I think I would do, is have the copycat ability. Like, I could just see or hear something and I could do it. But in turn, I would end up losing who I am for the greater good, you know, I think. So that's kind of a deeper one. I know some people are just like, I don't know, be super strong. Like, but what are you going to do with that when you got it, you know? Like, so I love that type of question, though.
No, and I love your answer. Your answer was very unique in itself, and I think it's a good power to have. But like you said, with every thing there is a negative and a positive, right? And there's a drawback. I think we mentioned that with our guest Lieutenant Mal yesterday when she said healing, and I always mentioned that with the healing ability, it takes a part of yourself away. It damages you in a lot of aspects of that ability. So it's self-sacrifice. And I've always been a person of self-sacrifice, especially when we were mentioning children yesterday you to give someone an opportunity, kind of as you mentioned earlier, with the whole like it should be me. I only have myself and my dog, and they have a family, and that's kind of how it is when it comes to me and kids. Like if there's any way in this world that I would prefer to go, it would be by giving myself for the life of someone else, even if it would be my organs or jumping in front of a car to save a kid to push them out of the way. That would be where I would want to go.
100%, and I completely agree with you on that. And that's like one of those things that is hard for me to sometimes comprehend in my job, that like there's certain people out there that wouldn't jump on that grenade, you know what I mean? There's that one person that like would hesitate, and it is hard. Sometimes you're in a position where you're like, all right, it's me or them. And then but now I'm at peace with that. Like if I did that good for someone else, like sometimes, like we said though, things are a gift and a curse. You never know. You save that kid, they become a serial killer, you know what I mean? But like you're like,
well, look at it this way, at least you contributed to something, right? Like,
right. You made a good podcast one day for someone, but like it's those sorts of things where you always have these battles with your mind, but at the same time you're just like, do you know what, in the moment it was the right thing to do. And like you said, that's where I'm at, where like the self-sacrifice or whatever, I try and take that every day. It's one of the army values is selfless service, but I already had that. And like you're not in the military, but you have that, and people have that, and I applaud that too, because it's not always easy. Sometimes you have to self-preservate. You have to think, well, like if I do this, then this could happen, and all of a sudden the moment's over. The bystander effect is one of those big things where like, do you run up and grab that person in a burning car knowing it's about to blow up? Or do you say, hold on, like someone else has got this, more trained, more qualified, or hey, my family's waiting in the car, I don't want them seeing me get blown up. That would be kind of distressing, right? Like there's all these things.
There's a cause and effect from it, and who knows, maybe you just go over there to help and both of you get blown up, and now your family's distraught on top of it all. So now they've lost their loved one. So it is tough, and that's something that you would pause, right? Like it would cause a sedation effect, and by then it may be too late. So we have the road's paved in good intention, but we never know how it's going to turn out.
No, 100%, and that's just it. Is like I used to be that bystander. One of the craziest stories I have is that like back home before, so I was walking through my city and there was a package outside a door of an empty store, right? And I'm like, that's kind of odd in itself. You know what I mean? Who the fuck would leave a package outside of an empty store knowing that no one's going to come pick it up? The handwriting looked a bit off, but I was like, do you know what? I got my own life to lead. I'm not worrying about this. Like, I'm not going to knock on the door or go to the next store and be like, hey, is this yours? Whatever. And I went about my day shopping, and I come back and Bomb Disposal have the controlled explosion egg thing, where it's like a giant container right where that fucking store was, right? They'd shut down a big radius of the area for this controlled explosion. Turns out someone had planted 19 package bombs through the city, right? And I live with that, knowing like, fuck, I walked past that thing, that could have had a serious repercussion. Like, so from like those moments, or like helping someone in need when they're struggling with like an epileptic fit or whatever, we've helped when we worked on an immigration refugee camp for all the people that fled Afghanistan. like there was some dude having a seizure, and I was like a good 300 meters away, and I could see it happening, and everyone was just walking away. So I sprinted my way down there to be like, dude, why is no one fucking helping him? You know? And it's like, I try and take those moments now where I'm like, I have to override that self-sacrifice thing sometimes as well. And when people do that, it truly inspires me to be like, do you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. You know, I can take that moment. You always see people like someone's having a medical emergency and everyone just reaches for their phone now to record it or whatever. And I'm like, dude, get the fuck out the way. Like, give them space. Let's figure this out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? Where society's going with that. Like, I remember one of the videos I saw where the kid was special needs kid was drowning in the lake, and the kids nearby were recording it and kind of laughing, and they ended up drowning, and the kids got off of it because that would have put them at risk, and they weren't liable to have to get in there. And I would have rather that kid drown me by fighting to stay up than watching and recording it happen. And that made me lose so much. You know, I distraught me for a good minute, you know, and it was terrible.
No, 100%. And that's why, like, now it's just one of those things. I think I do better. I'm a terrible swimmer, you know, but I would have to have that moment of like, fuck, let's do this. All right, let's go. Put my phone down, whatever. Like, you know, like if you need to use my phone, do it, and then jump in. Like, I'd have to have that 5 seconds to breathe, recalibrate, deliver. But like, yeah, that's one thing that I'm really working on as a human, is being like, hold on, why are we like, sure, someone could say, but you saved his life because you recorded it and the right people found him, whatever, you know what I mean? But like, no, you have to be in that moment sometimes and just fucking go for it.
There was a video that would remind me of yourself where I saw recently also where a guy's dog had fallen through the ice on a lake, and he ran in, jumped into the water, got his dog, and literally was using his arms to smash through the ice as he's swimming to drag his dog to shore. You know, in sub-degree temperature. You could see his body was completely red from being so cold. But he managed and had the will and the determination and the drive to not only get out himself, but to drag his dog with. So it's that courage and that bravery through all obstacles is very empowering, you know. And like you said, if they can do it, I can do it too. And that's a good mindset to have. One question I was going to ask you, if you, I know you've traveled from the sounds of it, you've been to different locations, but if you could travel anywhere, money and time were no obstacle, where would you go? What destination would you choose?
See, like one of the biggest goals in my life is to truly come out and meet some of the amazing people in the communities. And that, like, I would love to go to something like TwitchCon where everyone has a mutual interest to be there. It's not like, hey, I'm turning up at your house and I don't like you in real life, you know, and you're like stuck with me, you know, and I'm like, fuck. But like, no, like I would love to really, truly go see some of the people that have really been there for me, as well as meet everyone, really, at the end of the day, like hang out a bit, whatever. But like, in terms of locations, I've always loved Japan. And it's not as big a thing in England as it is, or it wasn't when I was growing up. Obviously, America had a lot of Japanese influence through anime and immigration and stuff, whereas mine was all through history. I loved learning history and stuff. But I think that would be one of my biggest ones. I'd also like to kind of do some of the more kind of fucked up things, like go see Chernobyl and stuff, like some of the biggest disasters in human history where we're like, we can learn from this, you know, but also like there's just an aura about these things. I've been to places like Auschwitz. I've been to, you know, like the D-Day landing beaches, things like that. And so much so that even the American War Cemetery in Normandy, no birds sang. There was just an aura that was like, death resides here, you know, like, and shit like that's super powerful to me. It's just really like, I want to go see those things that like sometimes we don't want to see or feel, but makes us kind of ground ourselves again and be like, hold on, like so many gave for so little, you know, or we wouldn't be here today because of this. And, you know, but then there's also some kind of fun places, right? Like I'd love to go to all these places where there's like, you know, you see it like, oh, in China there's this dog cafe that is like everyone's like fucking loving life around these dogs. You know, it's these simple things, but at the end of the day, anything that helps me grow as a person, which is kind of crazy because I had the opportunity, like I said, as a kid, I went to France, Spain, places like that. I learned Spanish for 4 years and I thought I'd never fucking need it, so I didn't care. I can say some basic phrases or whatever, and then here I am, like on the border of Mexico. I'd married a Mexican, you know what I mean? So I really try not to restrict myself in that mentality. Like if I can learn something from these places, I'd love to go there. You know, I'd love to see cultural differences. I'd love to see just like what simple things day to day can make me a better person by being in that environment. So again, there's not really a specific to be honest, I just want to get out there and be the person that I wasn't as a kid, which is like, I'm going to be very introverted. I don't even want to be in my own city half the time because there's too many people. You know, like I said, there was a girl I was talking to when I was younger. She was living in London and she wanted a long distance relationship. And I was like, 2 hours away? Fuck off. I'm not traveling 2 hours to come see you. Now I traveled 5,000 miles, you know, like you got to be willing to expand your horizons. And it's not always easy because life, you know, money, commitments, things like that. But that's like what we said, is like we're learning in other ways. You've got a family, you've got your own stuff going on, but you can learn from other people through Twitch. You know, we can experience cultures, we can experience different people growing up, different mindsets, and we don't have to step outside our door. But when you do get a chance to, you really truly appreciate it. You know, that's something I've definitely learned recently.
Yeah, no, that's we get to live curiously through others, you know, especially here on Twitch. You know, I get to experience a lot of people who live totally different lives, different routines, rhythms, likes, dislikes. And then by the end of it, you know, I feel like I've grown as an individual. You know, I can take that on and present it here in my local community. I can push it towards people who I never imagined, and it allows me to give them an opportunity. You know, because they're battling their struggles. They're trying to grow as individuals. Who knows? Maybe my smile, my kind comment will change their day and be able to give back just like others have given to me. So it's like we just want to give, you know, and that's and grow. Give and grow. It's my two things to learn and live by. But yeah, so I mean, you're a busy guy. How do you balance your streaming with real life commitments? You know, being in the military and volunteering. How do you balance the two?
So we actually through one of my wonderful mods as well, Rocket Goth, we're doing a mental health awareness month, and this topic was a heavy topic we covered recently, and it kind of opened up my eyes a lot that like I do more than I think I'm doing, because like I said, one of my biggest fears is kind of not being there for people. So every time I'm training or I'm having to work late and I'm thinking like, oh, I missed a streaming schedule that I said I would be there for, or someone's chat. Like that really dwells on me. It like does hurt me. Like, fuck. In my head, I'm like, they're going to be annoyed. I made this promise, whatever. But like, it's not like that. Like we said, we all realize that we have lives and stuff. And so I do find that struggle hard to balance them. But what I've come to realize recently is that like streaming isn't a business, you know. So why am I treating it like I have to be here? I'm here for the love of the people that are in chat. I'm here for the love of like doing good in the world. But if I miss a schedule, it's not that bad, you know. Like the world goes on, you know.
The boss isn't going to be at your door.
Exactly.
Hey, Kanon, you're not live.
Right?
Well, you're supposed to be live half an hour ago. Yeah.
And for people that don't realize, like to be late in the military is the way I put it, right? If you're on time, you're late. So you're 15 minutes prior. right? But then someone above them or below them is going, hey, above you but below them is going, you're going to be 15 minutes prior to the 15 minutes. By the end of it, you're waiting an hour just to be on time, right? And so like all these anxieties and stuff come up where you're like, this is bad, but if you don't show up for work, they'll kick your fucking door in. They'll be like, why the fuck are you not at work? And you're like, oh, fuck, I'm dying of like sick. And they're like, well, you go to sick call, but you have to show up for work first. So like that kind of bleeds into this streaming life where I'm like, I have all these like things of like anxieties of being like, oh, if I'm not there, someone's going to come kick down my fucking door and be like, why weren't the fuck you on my stream? You know? And I'm like, dude, I'm naked right now. Get out. Like, you know, like, so it's like these things of like, it is a hard balance. And people like yourself know you've got a family, you've got life commitments, and you try and do your best to be there. And sometimes I'll have that guilt and I'll be like, I wasn't going to stream today, but I missed the stream 2 days ago and I want to be there. You know what I mean? Or like, I just felt like I needed to be here instead. You know, and so I do my best to balance it. Now, has it cost some things like real life friendships and that? They're always like, dude, you're always fucking streaming or something. Come hang out. And I'm like, yeah, but like, it's different, you know, like I'll come hang out with you. But I
like my
day.
Streaming friends better than I like you.
Not quite that. But you know, normally when I hang out with you, I get copiously drunk and we could get in some trouble and it's a great laugh, but I'm safe here. You know, I can get drunk in my own house and pass out over there. But yeah, it's like those types of balances or like trying to be in relationships again is hard because my streaming style is obviously to show love to everyone that I can. And sometimes that can be misconstrued as like, well, she's blatantly flirting with you. So fucking what? If they're happy, they're happy. You know I'm with you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And it's like things like that where it's like, my streams can be sussy. They can be whatever. And I'm like, but we're here for a good time. There's no harm in it as long as like we realize there's no harm in these things. Like, I'm never going to cheat on someone. I'm never going to, you know, mislead someone. If they want to be open and honest with me, I'll be open and honest with them, you know? And so these things are like, that's the real balance for streaming for me, is that some people are like, well, you're showing all this love to this one person. And I'm like, if you're jealous of that, I don't want that energy, you know? Like, yeah. We should be able to be ourselves, do what we want. And as long as no one gets hurt in the process. So that's kind of a hard thing when my job is to hurt people. Yeah, like, oh, I don't want anyone to get hurt, but it's the right people shouldn't be getting hurt. Fuck them terrorists, right? But,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So how do you prepare your streams? Do you have any rituals or routines that you go through to before you go live? Do you do like a pep talk? You got this, K9.
Normally I just go and cry in the shower so no one can see my tears, but you know, like,
my tear ducts are empty, Chad. I can finally stream.
Yeah, like there's no way that this could get any worse. But like, no, like I said, I'm a very anxious person with these things. So like for me, it does take a moment to really build myself up. There's sometimes I talk myself out of it, and then I'll have accountability. Like I say, I have people like my mod Leah being like, "Hey, when am I working?" And I'm like, "You're not working. You're just a mod. You're a friend, you know." And they're like, "No, go live. I'm ready." And I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, all right, I have to do it now. So, I don't necessarily have like a preset ritual. More I de-stress, I cuddle the dog for a bit. I'm like, everything's going to be okay, you know? But as I said, the thing with streaming for me is I don't like being on camera. I hate myself. I hate those things. And it's a daily struggle for me to go, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go on camera. I'm going to, you know, and that's the biggest part that I forget. Like right now, I've been talking to you like you just sat in front of me. I'm not looking at this portion of the screen where there's a camera. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing myself. I'm just here talking to you, talking to chat. And that's one of the biggest things for me is that like, once I get over my insecurities, my thing, we usually have a blast. I say usually because obviously sometimes chat is quiet. There's times where people aren't available. Like I have so many wonderful people that were like, dude, I really wish I could be here for this podcast, but I'm working. That's fine. There's VODs. No, I'm just saying, like, there's
Yeah,
like,
there's
no, you
VODs.
don't
There's
want
the audio recordings later that they can listen to while maybe they're working or doing other things. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we understand you have lives and stuff. So it's like one of those things. That's the biggest part of streaming for me is like I'm forget who I am. I remember that like I have all these wonderful people around. They're not here for esports level gameplay. There's no pressure of that because I'm fucking terrible at gaming. I just enjoy it. But like people are there for the vibes, and I forget that sometimes. So I have to use that to push me forward to stream and be like, okay, you're gonna fucking do it. You said you were gonna stream. Fucking get out your own head. Go cry in the shower for a bit, cuddle the dog, and come back. Like so. No set ritual. It's just on the fly.
Well, that's good. And that also, you never know what you're going to get when you're on the fly, and that's good because that's like a genuine, honest reaction, response, from the stream. And I think that's what people like too. They like stuff that's genuine and honest. And, we have a few preset, just making sure lights are on here and everything's working. But besides that, you never know what you're going to get out of the day. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, like obviously, I kind of mentioned to you before stream as well because you offered your help with the whole Clown University thing. Like, I'm just learning OBS. I'm learning all these things about making my stream better, which is going to prolong that process of making the things, make sure they're all working. But like, it happens. Life happens. The other day I went to stream and for some reason Discord and Xbox didn't like each other. And I'm like there and everyone's like, you got audio issues? And in my head I'm like, fuck. Like everything's going to shit, and I'm trying to be really calm and my mods are yelling at me and I'm like, oh my god, like there is a level of like you said, make sure the lights are on. I'll even fucking forget that half the time. Like, dude, I've been streaming for like 10 minutes and it looks dark as fuck because I'm not checking my screen or whatever. Those sorts of things. There are minor things, and as I get more into streaming for the betterment of more interactivity, more fun for everyone, I'm gonna have to do those pre-checks. But right now it is very much turn on my Xbox. Is the webcam in today? Oh shit, no, it's on my PC right now. Change it over. Is Discord running or is Xbox Party working? Good. And then I just I go for it and figure it out.
Yeah. No, I mean, you work with what you got, and if problems do occur during that time, you have to troubleshoot them, get them figured out. And what better place, honestly, than in stream where everybody's willing to help? It's like, all right, guys, I didn't want to do a tech stream today, but here we are, and I appreciate everybody for helping.
Exactly, and that's like the wonderful thing about the people that gravitate towards you and others I know is that like it could be a whole lot different. You could be having tech issues and there could be someone in chat being like, you're a fucking loser, fucking nerd.
I mean, I do still get that. There are out there, but they're still helping in DMs.
But it's like the community is going to be the one that goes like, hold up, dude, like chill, instead of everyone going like, hold on, wait, let me grab my pitchfork and join in. Like, fuck you, dude, you didn't know how to stream or whatever. Everyone's actually just like, yo, hold up, like, I think I have a solution to this. Is this good? Or like, hey, shit happens. I don't control tech, tech controls me in these things. Like, sure, we could talk face to face all you want, and I've got to deal with myself, but now I'm dealing with an external source, and yeah, as everyone's saying in chat, there's always something, everyone's in the same boat. There's always going to be that one thing, and it's stressful at the time, because you're like, fuck, like, I even joked that the other day, my really great friend Leah was having a bad day. She comes in my stream for some good vibes, and then she's also a mod, and I'm having audio issues. I'm stressed out, and she's like, wow, you're really like mean to me. And I was like, I'm not mean to you, I'm mean at the computer. Fuck this thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's pissing me off, but it's like you do those things to try and override that a lot of the time and be like, like, man, I'm sorry. So that was all it took, really, was a little call or a message to be like, I'm not mad at you. It was the PC, and it happens. Life happens. Tech happens. I see you, Heavy. Let's fucking go. But like,
Yo,
yeah,
Heavy with the biddy. Thank you, Heavy. Yo, we actually, now that you did a biddy, Heavy, I did forget. I don't know if it's working, but we added some cam adjustments. I don't. It's probably not, but if anybody who donates 10 biddies, something changes, and then every 100 biddies, something changes. So I don't know if it'll work, but we'll get there one day. It just reminded me, so I just thought I'd tell chat while I was there. But no, we got a couple more questions, and then we will be departing. But when we depart, we have two things we do here. We either, if with you being on leave, I'm not sure your plans for the rest of the day, but if you are hopping on, maybe we can raid over into you, bring the community with while you stream, even if it is a short stream. But if you do have plans, I'm sure you know some lovely people who you're always willing to get back to. We can raid into them today, however you want to go at it. But what has been the most memorable moment so far on stream that stuck with you since you've been streaming?
the problem is for me there's so much that I'm so thankful for with streaming. There's kind of hard to pick like moments, but like there's been everything from like accomplishing 12-hour charity streams, which normally I stream like 4 hours, but there's also things like being like parts or having people come in that like I just love every time. I mean that, like every time I see certain names and that I'm like, yo, you didn't need to be here, but you're here, you know, like Epic Ranger, Heavy, these people, they're busy people. Dr. Dive, every time he comes in, he's got his own stuff. So like most memorable is really hard for me because as I say, I pick and choose my best memories and then they all turn out being the best, you know, because like I said, I could say off stream was like finding that affiliate email because it was the moment that all that hard work, 2 weeks of being up like 23 hours a day, sometimes I was just drinking to be in streams and keep myself up, like, yo, I'll get an hour of sleep and I'm back to, you know, networking and stuff. But like actually on stream, yeah, there's just been so many moments. It could be raids, it could be people dropping amazing amounts to charity, which again is never expected, but it's appreciated, because again, some people, like, everything counts, but when someone comes in and it's just like bam, like the other day we did a drawing stream as part of the mental health awareness, someone came in, immediately dropped $250, and you're like, dude, that's your money, you need to eat. And that, like, what are you doing? Like, and
That was
like,
very
no,
nice of them.
yeah, you know what I mean. So things like that like do mean a lot to me, but it's the everyday, truly. Like I don't think I've had a bad stream in that sense. Like I've found something in that stream that makes it the best. And
Yeah, no, all your streams I've ever been a part of have been awesome streams. You know, even if it's a slow stream at first, or even if you're having a great stream, every experience I've had in your stream has been a wonderful stream. So I highly recommend, again, anybody who's just stopped in, haven't got a chance to drop K9 a follow, please, please, please do so, because you're definitely missing out. Just a genuine dude all around, animal lover, dog lover mostly, but loves all animals, right? So, but I know we always have this ongoing battle, dog versus cats, and yeah, we know K9. Yeah, dog.
Where we're at.
Yeah.
It's kind of obvious where we're at, but no.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm actually. So you saying about why my camera decided to do that? We'll refocus in a second. But the thing that you say that, like you were saying about, like, I'm not going to go live after this because I actually have to go feed someone's cats whilst they're on leave. So it's not like for not a love of like animals and that, like we just rep team dog because dogs mean the most to me. I see people like JD Oz who's just jumped in, big dog lover there and stuff, like, and that's one thing I love is that, like, with everything in the world, like, you should have that little competition in life, right? Like, obviously, if you come in my channel, we have redeems for team cat, team dog, whatever. But like, it's all friendly banter, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to go out there and kick a fucking cat, you know, like just because I don't like it.
Team cat won today. Oh,
yeah, you know, like it's not going to happen because at the end of the day, why would I do that unless the cat's going to attack me? And even then, I'd be resilient to be like, no, I don't want to hurt you, dude.
You're like, damn it, cat.
Like everyone jokes and they were like, you know, in games like Modern Warfare and stuff, you see obviously the canines and that, and they're like, if you're in a battlefield scenario and a dog's attacking you, what do you do? It's like, let him fucking kill me. He deserves me. You know, like I ain't shooting the dog. So like things like that are like, it's friendly. We do the same in the services. So we have Team Army, Team Marine, Team Space Force, Team fucking whatever. But like, it's all friendly banter until you come for that thing, right? If you're just shitting on the military, we're gonna shit on you. You know, we all come together. It's like brothers and sisters, and the same with animals. I'm gonna give you some shit for being Team Cat. You know, like, dude, like, cats don't give a fuck about you. They just want to eat your food and run away, you know? But like at the same time, yeah, I'm not going to actually be hateful towards a cat, you know? Like,
I mean, you're not lying. That's what my cat does. He just eats my food and runs away. So
whereas my dog right now, he's asleep on my bed because he misses me and I'm fucking 10 feet away, you know? Like, so, but no, that's the thing with it is like, yeah, obviously I do advocate heavily for dogs and stuff, but at the end of the day, people are going to be like, well, why don't you be a vegan and that? Because I fucking like meat, all right? You know, I'm sorry for the animal, but you know, like, I can do what I can up to there, and then I go,
exactly.
Do you know what?
But you give back other ways. So I mean, it's not like you're just selfishly eating meat and not, you know, appreciating where it comes from, appreciating the sacrifice, you know, and then giving to other animals that where you can. So, you know, no hardship here. But I would say two questions we got left here. One of them is, how have you grown as a content creator since you started streaming? So something that maybe you struggle with in the beginning that you do feel a little bit more comfortable with now.
Honestly, everything. Like I said, I do my best to at least be 1% better than I was the day before. And that can even be like my mindset to streaming, where I'm like I told you to, I override that pre-stream anxiety. There used to be a lot of days that would win. I'd be like, do you know what? This is too much. I'm overwhelmed. Fuck it. I'm out. And then like, that's good. Sometimes you should listen to your gut. But other times it's like, no, get over yourself. And then I have one of the best streams I've ever had, you know, where it's just like, on top of that, I'm always learning, and I love learning from you guys. So the simplest of things, like, oh, now I can add emotes to my redeems. My redeems now are going to have sound alerts from everyone in my community. They can like give me a sound alert, and we're working on things like that. So as a content creator,
excited. I'm really excited to come in and see some of the changes now that you got your PC. And like I said, I've said it multiple times. If you need anything, let me know. But
yeah, and I truly appreciate that, because again, I'm not wanting this to be about me. I want it to be about everyone else, and that's something that I've really learned streaming, is that like, we can do these things and include other people. Streaming seems like such a selfish act a lot of the time. Like, look at me, I'm in this square, I'm the fucking dancing monkey right now, you know. But like, it's also not. We can do good. You're doing good right now by like putting people out there, spotlighting other streamers, spotlighting good people. I don't even know how I fucking made it, you know. But like, these sorts of things, right, is where it's like, that's what I've learned a lot about becoming a better streamer, is the more interactive things. Like, you can still be a good streamer and just be on a PNG tuber in your gameplay, right? But like, I'm not detracting from that. But what I want for everyone else is for people to be truly entertained, even if I have to not be there for something. I gotta go let the dog out. People can do whatever the fuck they want in chat, you know, as long as it doesn't break terms of service or hurts anyone. Like, things like that are now where I'm progressing to be like, I originally was streaming things like, I know Heavy Hustle asked earlier, like XCOM, and I was just playing that for myself. But eventually I was like, dude, I love what he did, where he added his followers, his friends into the game, and they had a redeem to be in the game. And XCOM is one of those games where many people get fucking murked. So it's kind of sad when, let's be frank, on his first outing got fucking murked. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry.
I know. I love that. Yeah, because he
right?
even made a clown character, a guy for me too, and I was like, this is awesome. So I felt privileged. That was awesome.
Exactly. it's just that next level of like, how do I make this more about you guys? I was enjoying the game anyway, but now it's kind of fun. It was one of his highlighted questions, but like we did finish that playthrough, and we even had a playthrough that was called Protect the Princess, which is Leah. She's known as the princess of the shelter, and she had to go on every mission, and she was not allowed to die no matter what.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So it was like at points like there was a genuine moment of just pure anxiety because everything save scumming, she died. And in the end, I was like, I have to do it. I have to be the one that jumps in front of this shot so she lives and gets out of here. And obviously, you're like, fuck. And it just turned out, and like that she got out alive. And it's things like that. That's where I'm growing as a content creator and someone who is truly about the community. Because if everyone's having fun, I have fun. I'm reciprocating that energy. Instead of just sat here being like, I just wanted to play games and hey guys, you know what I mean? Like, it's about, if I'm gonna stream, it's about you guys. So definitely.
No, that's awesome, and that's gonna create some really awesome content, you know, and make people's day, you know, and that's what it's about. You know, it's not just about making my day, making content that I'm comfortable with, because you know what I find comfortable may be different what others find comfortable. So this way,
the fact that you mentioned that is one of those things that I'm so fucking glad you didn't have to do clips today, because 95% of my clips are me fucking ooh-wooing and dumb shit, where like it's about people, right? So like you have to put yourself out there, and I'm like, but you missed this triple kill on Halo, but you fucking clip me doing that. Like, but at the end of the day, if people are having fun, enjoying themselves, like, yeah, I could make some great content on being the best Halo player there ever was, but 90% of my shout out clips are me saying some dumb shit or like whispering into the mic and all this kind of like dumb shit, right? That like people are like, who the fuck is this guy when you're new in the stream, right?
So I see why you were having good conversation with me today. You were trying to avoid the clips. Yeah. I was like,
but I'm just so used to it now that like I'll even play into it where I'll come in a brand new stream and they'll have that shout out command, and here I am doing little ooh fingers and saying shit because people have redeemed it. And then like they're like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm like, God damn it. Like, I need to go through my clips, you know? Like, this is like the 6th time today that someone has had an uwu fucking call out or something, you know? But it's all for the love, all for the entertainment of making people happy. And if we can do that, then what's some embarrassment, right? I'm going to go bright fucking red anyway on the stream and get embarrassed, but I might as well make someone laugh while I do it. So...
No, I absolutely agree. I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day. You know, it's for the community, for the fun of it all. If we're not having fun, then what's it about? But no, I had an awesome time today. I really did, and I couldn't ask for a better guest to come on the show, especially to start the week off on a Monday. You know, like the reverse card, not again when I thought it was over. No,
Uno is never over. That's what breaks friendships.
But no, that's awesome, man. No, I appreciate it again, truly. And guys, one final shout out and applause for K9 here today, coming on the show, hanging out with us, being a part of the spotlight. We love you, man. And I can't wait to see what the future has in store for you, not only in life, but on the stream. And I'll be there, man. I'll be there for every minute of it. I'm not going nowhere. The community's not going nowhere. We always have your back. But yeah, so who are we going with today? Is there someone on that we'd love to show some love to?
Yeah, so like here's the thing, like obviously this is kind of an unusual schedule for me because I'm not normally here for a lot of that, so I don't have like a massive amount of people, but I think what we need to do is show some love that was on yesterday and she didn't get that love. She passed forward that love to Ryder, but I see Lieutenant Mao is on, and I think we should show her some love because she did a selfless act in passing on her love. Yesterday she could have gone live, whatever, but she didn't. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate that she didn't think of herself in that moment. She thought of someone else. And so I would say, can we go raid out to Lieutenant Mao? Because I also have a great time in her streams. She is a wonderful person. She's great vibes. Yeah, I'm thankful to have got to know her through people like yourself, Joker, and I think she's part of the Clutch World era as well, off the top of my head. But I'm pretty sure it was this stream that I found her. Or let's be frank, I've seen her in there as well, and we have all the love for the LBFs crew. So it's a hard choice because there is some really, really amazing streamers on. And if anyone's not following people, please follow each other in chat, get to know each other. The same with anything. Test out some new streamers, try and find some new people. But yeah, I think we need to show some love to Lieutenant Mao right now. She was in here chatting up a storm, showing some love.
Yeah, she's always doing great. You know, I asked when we go over at some point, everybody who's in chat, do ask her about her feet fungus. And how she's managing to control that, because she does have some very good secrets on that. So yeah, definitely do. But I appreciate it.
Just like, oh, maybe I should stay. It's a big issue for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's got some encouraging, type of cure-alls.
In front of the other, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In front of the other.
Yeah. Yo, TJ, thank you for still being here. That means that's perfect. That everybody who's still here, let's hype it up, because Lieutenant Mao is awesome. K9, you are awesome, man. I had a pleasure. This is, like I said, man, you really, really made a great Monday. I'm gonna go into work here in a bit, and I'm gonna have a positive attitude and try to show love to everybody I come across. And you've definitely played a big influence on that. So if you guys are subscribers to the stream, raid 2 there. If you're not, do raid 1 here. And let's hype it up for Mal. And we appreciate everybody. Thank you again. And just wait patiently while we get the raid started here. Refresh the tab if you guys can. If you're lurking, maybe at work, hit the refresh to make sure that you go over properly with the raid. And she's playing some Elden Ring, so she is back at it. And I told her that I'd show back up today to see some of that Elden Ring progression, and here we are. So you guys helped me, and you helped me, K9, keep true to my word. So let's go over there and show her some love and start the raid, guys.
You, Jokerdad, and everyone in chat. Let's go. Let's put the fucking blues and twos on as we go over. Fucking hype it up.
Yeah, exactly. and any final words for chat before we go over?
You. As long as you're not hurting anyone, unless it's for the right reasons. As a military guy, I got to shoot people in the face. But honestly, be you. You guys are doing amazing out there. One foot in front of the other, and we're always here for you. So always. And there she is right now. Leah, I love you. I love everything that you do for me. So thank you. Thank you for lurking. But each and every one of you, thank you for what you do. And thank you, Jokerdad. Round of applause for you for coming and doing what you do, highlighting all these amazing streamers. So
I appreciate it. And you guys are all awesome. I'm extremely blessed. I really am. And drop the follow to Leah as well. Does she stream?
She does. All right.
Okay, I hit the heart too.
The love that she ever can have. All right. Same as most of you. Just please check each other's streams out. If the vibes are for you, they're for you. But I guarantee you, if I'm saying these people like Jokerdad, he knows Epic, Heavy Hustle, beautiful. There's a great person right behind that screen. So, I vet my people. All right. I do my best, but wonderful people.
Exactly. Happy Monday, everybody. Again, round of applause. Let's get the hype going. Get the emotes ready. We're going right now.